Oh, 11:01 on a Tuesday. We are live. Checking out everything coming up. Looks like we are good to go here. Good to go here. And we are live here as well. Live across all three. Pop on in. Ask your questions like we've got. First question in from T Fireball Peace Sign. Looking for quarterback ranks. Quarterback ranks. He's asking Mahomes playing the Broncos or Flacco playing against. Let me add Flacco in. So on Tuesday, the ranks are in paper, pencil. I mean, everything would be paper. They're in pencil. So we finalize them on Tuesday night. Looks like we got AXM popping in saying 9-1. Nice. Let's get a gauge of Bengals. They're giving up a ton of points to quarterbacks. Let's figure out what we're feeling for Flacco. We're adding him back in. We're adding Mahomes back in. Week 11. I know Mahomes plays Denver, afternoon game. Denver's a tough defense. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh, who's been better as of late. I'm just punching this in. So Pittsburgh, I mean, this is 7th, allowing a lot of points to fantasy quarterbacks. And there's a difference between 25 and 20. That would be a notable difference. I'll probably end up with them like very close to each other when everything is said and done. Mahomes playing the Broncos, that's a tough matchup. They allow some of the fewest points to fantasy quarterbacks. Where are they? They were Denver. Yeah, there it is, 31. So it's going to be super close. T Fireball Peace Sign. I'll probably end up with, I think Mahomes ahead, but I'm not positive yet. AXM 9-1, looking good. Saiyan 101, RJ Harvey time incoming. Yeah, what's going on with J.K. Dobbins' foot injury? Let's see, this just says, suffers foot sprain 3 days ago, likely to miss significant time. Okay, yeah. Early indications are positive. Hey, we'll find out. We'll find out probably more today or tomorrow. AP12, hello on YouTube. Jew28 boy. Am I saying that right? JUE, first time chatter. I thought so. I hope not. I'm playing the guy I traded him to. Yeah, I mean, it's looking that way. 284 boy. With injury to Dobbins. He voices frustration over the hip drop tackle after an injury. Early indications are positive. I don't know exactly what that means. So we'll see with the practice reports. Garrett on YouTube, I'm 4-6 and have an 8% chance to make the playoffs. Should I just quit? No, you can make the playoffs still. Like, why quit? You paid the money. Play it out. Pay dirt. Saying what's up. Shane saying good morning. Good morning, guys. It's a holiday here. My daughter is home. She is home. She does not understand that we work when she's at school. It's a lot of, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad, hey, dad. A lot of stuff. Rob MC, thinking I should go for Dak over Hurts this week? I don't know. Jalen Hurts playing the Lions, Dak against the Raiders. Yeah, it might go that way. I saw the trade that you made. I mean, we may just want to move one of those guys anyway. Looks like PL Center Rose, whiz up with the follow on TikTok. Thank you, guys. Bo Brown just clinched the playoffs. Should I just hold Bucky for then? Yeah, if you've clinched the playoffs, let's hold this guy that we think is going to be back. Also, what do I do with Terry and Debo? You both kind of need a running back too until Bucky is back. I mean, move Debo for, I don't know, could you go start shooting high, go ETN, shooting low, David Montgomery? Saying 101 flex T. Higgins or Vidal this week? It's probably T. Higgins, but I'm working on the ranks right now. CJ Flip, should I panic on Cook? James Cook? No. T-Round 6-4, would I trade Jalen Warren for Rashee Rice? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I would rather have Rashee Rice. Uh-oh, underdog. Don't do it again. I see it. Eddie Pimentel, trade Nico, Henderson, and Gadsden for Achane. I trade Nico. That's a lot. That's a lot to give up. I don't know why you would have to give up that much for Achane and not get something back. Is it just because you're buying him after a massive week? Like, we have always known he's a great player and that those weeks are possible, but they're not the norm. I mean, he likely dips back down to 18-20 this week. Cade Miller, Irving for Genty. Sure. If you're really like, you just want to get out and you're tired of waiting for the injured player to come back, I could understand it. Nate, CD for Amon-Ra. I really want Amon-Ra. They're like the same thing. So you could. I wouldn't really feel anything about it if I had gotten that trade. All right, underdog. You typed it twice, so we stopped, but here we are. Do I trade Rice and Dobbins for Achane? Yeah, that's okay. You could probably get Achane for just Rice. It's kind of my thought. So if you have to add Dobbins, starting to pay a bit, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Pay dirt in one of my dynasties. I wasn't looking great. Traded Jonathan Taylor in a second round. Got back Henderson, Rome, and a first. Also traded A.J. Brown for Malik Washington and a 26 first right after. I don't know how I feel about that one. The A.J. Brown for Malik Washington and a first. I mean, I like getting a first. I would have rather gotten, I don't know how, I just don't feel that great about Malik Washington. Saying 101 as a Commies fan, Achane might drop 60 points this week. I think we're just buying into the hype a bit. CJ Flip, let's see. Okay, this is your team in an 8-man. What trade should I do? CJ Flip, we don't do team reviews and very team specific. Here's my team. What do I do on the live streams? We do those afterwards in our roster help and screenshots channel in the Discord. So we have a roster helps channel where you post images of your roster for Twitch subs, and then we open up a thread back and forth. Here's moves you can make. I'm worried about this. Here's moves you can make. There's such and such. And so on. Back and forth conversations. We just don't do them on the live stream because each and every one of you, your fantasy teams are like your kids. You love them a ton. Most people are not that excited to hear about it. Same thing with your pets. Same thing with your pets. Shane Kindred would love if RJ Harvey fills the void till Bucky's back. Hey, that would be great. That would be great. Professor 229, 4-6 need some wins. I have BTJ on my bench. Parker Washington's on the waiver wire. Ricky Pearsall's in there. Who should I pick up? Probably Parker Washington. We just don't know when Pearsall's playing. If you have room for both, grab both, but there's a good chance Pearsall's ruled out again. Dirty Lettuce, Lost Craft, now Kincaid. Should I pick up Theo Johnson? Yeah. Theo over Loveland. They're going to be about the same each week in rankings. Kind of a blob of hoping one of them gets a touchdown. Tell me it's going to be okay. It'll be okay. You'll find someone. Jesus Freak, I think Jefferson will get better production, but what if I sell him for Rashee Rice and Dowdle? Rice and Dowdle's not bad. Rice and Dowdle's not bad. I saw one that I used in the video today that was just Dowdle. It was Justin Jefferson for just Rico Dowdle. AXM, Cook for CD and would I send James Cook for CD? Yeah. I like CeeDee Lamb probably still more than James Cook. VBME 7-3. I have an offer for Saquon and Debo getting Amon-Ra and Pacheco. Would I trade Saquon and Debo for Amon-Ra? That's about the full price. I don't know that I would do it in every spot. Danny Candy, should I trade Sutton for Quentin Johnson? I'm tired of Troy stealing all the targets. I'll tell you, like, sometimes Quentin Johnson doesn't get targets. Do you just want to be worried about a different person taking targets from your players? Ronald on TikTok, trade Chase Brown, Laporta, and Jennings for Adams, Tet, and Kamara. So Chase Brown, Laporta, and Juwan Jennings for Adams, Tet, and Kamara. I think I like the Devontae Adams Tet side. If you don't need Chase Brown at running back, I like Adams and Tet there, and you don't need Laporta. Braden, Dak, or Mahomes this week? Probably Dak. I don't have it fully done. We'll be building them out as we do the live, but it's probably going to end up being Dak ahead. Logan, I need a waiver wire wide receiver to start this week since Dobbs and Garrett Wilson got injured. We have waiver wire video, And then I don't know who's available on your waivers. Whitecaps on Twitch. I got offered Bijan for Puka. This guy's 8-1 with stacked wide receivers. The only one solid running back. It definitely makes sense for him. I'm not sure why he needs to think about it. I have a lot of running backs. Oh, you offered Bijan for Puka? I don't know. People have their own opinions on players. If he accepts it, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's also normal. Tech Filmer's here. What's up, Tech Filmer? Saying, hey, Jack. Cashcraft, I know you're no medical expert, but for the fun of it, when do you think Bucky is back? Week 13? 13 or 14? But I have no idea. CJ Flip, you have to pay for access to the Discord channel. For the team reviews, it is tied to Twitch subs. So you could do Twitch subs through Amazon Prime, which doesn't cost anything extra than what you already pay for Amazon Prime. Otherwise, there's one for the server subscribers, which is tied to a server subscription. Everything else, trade questions, start sits, ad drops, are free access channels. It's just if you could only get your question to, here's my team, what do I do? And you can't boil it into, should I make this trade, or should I add this player and drop this player? Or should I start this player over that player? That's all free. Everything else, if it's just, here's a picture, tell me what to do, then we're gonna get into other options. Ball and Brady with the lightning bolts and 5 goats as well. Thank you very much. PL has been dropping roses. Thank you. Connor Daly with the heart me. Schlong Lisandro 69. Is that a family name, Schlong? Start ETN or Rashad White. I would end up with ETN ahead. We're doing ranks right now. We'll post full ranks tomorrow, broken down by game by game. But I'm going to have ETN ahead. Connor Daly, Saquon, and Aaron Jones for Gibbs. Sure. I feel like we're paying a little bit up, but it's not insane. Would I do it? I'd probably just roll with Saquon and pair Aaron Jones with someone else, where I feel like I'm getting a more sure upgrade. Chris Bliss. Let's see. We got KJ Still, Chris Bliss. KJ Still, what do you think is an attainable running back for a Henderson Olave package? I mean, so we're at 1. We used to count how many times we get this question asked. We're at 1 right now, yours, but we'll probably hit double digits today in our 3-hour stream. We have that as a video. You have Travion Henderson and Chris Olave as a package, and you want to know who's attainable. This is how I build those packages. Got a video. It's 9 minutes, and it's exactly what I would do. It's what I do in my leagues when I'm sending out trades. Chris Bliss, Jones, Rome, and Monty for Ibuka. Yeah, if I had Ibuka, I think I could take that. Aaron Jones and add Monty. I don't know that I like Ibuka a ton more than Rome. Let's see. Oh, we got Texas Tejano dropping in. RJ Harvey, Aaron Jones, Kyle Manungai, Theo Johnson, or Rashad White in the flex. It's likely going to be Harvey. It'll be Harvey or Aaron Jones. I'll finish up the rankings today, but that's likely where we'll end up. If there's a foot injury with J.K. Dobbins, then Harvey's going to be up there. There will be someone else that they bring in as well. I don't think Harvey shoots up from, I mean, has he been getting 40% snaps? I don't think so. 32, 28. I think he'll get up to about like 45, close to 50, but they'll bring someone else in. But he'll be pretty valuable. Danny Canny, trade Kyron away for Genty and Shakir. That's not insane. I don't do a ton of sending 1 for 2 as we get later in the year. As we're past our bye weeks, I kind of want to be the one sending 2 and getting 1. And typically you have to be the one building the trades to get that. So normally, like, not really do I want to do that deal. I would rather take the other side. Tech Filmer 7-3. Let's go. Yes. Says thank you for your help. Just doing what I can. I sent an offer to a guy in last for Christian McCaffrey. You were giving up Collins and ETN for CMC, but he wants JSN and 1 no. Okay, you're trying to trade for Christian McCaffrey. He wants JSN. I think the thing you do here, Tech Filmer, is you come to the stream here and someone just tells you that's why that guy's in last place. He stinks at this. The offer he sent is ridiculous. It's never going to get through. That's why he's losing. And you wish that he was in last place, but still good enough at the game to make a fair trade, but he's not. So you got to go somewhere else. Not every team is smart enough to know how to trade. B. Hogan, Mark Andrews, Otten, or Schultz if Gadsden is out. Possibly Otten. I mean, it'll probably be Otten or Schultz. George offered Puka, Pearsall, and Downs for Ladd, Marvin, Henderson. What's holding me up as my other RB2 is Dobbins, who's likely out for a while. You can always make another deal. So depending on the value here, you offered, what am I missing? There's no running backs in this trade. Oh, Henderson. You would send Henderson. Okay, you would send Ladd, Marvin, Henderson, and you would get Puka, Pearsall, and Downs. I think I'm fine taking Puka there. You create a problem for yourself, but you get one of the best players in fantasy, and then you can go solve the problem you made with another trade. As long as you can do that, I'm fine bringing in Puka. Jake the Twin, should I pick up the Pats defense this week or stick with Seahawks? If neither option is good, George, Jake, I don't play with a lot of defenses. What's the recommendation? I mean, stick with the Pats. They're playing the Jets, right? On Thursday night. Why would we be worried about that? I would just take the Pats against the Jets. Who do the Seahawks play? Los Angeles. Week 11, they play the Rams. I would take the Jets matchup. Ball and Brady sending lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Thank you. Heem on TikTok, Jonathan Taylor and buys. So do I start Woody or ETN this week? I'm doing the ranks right now, but it's gonna be ETN ahead of Woody. Juan on TikTok, Ferguson, Abuka, and Henry for Bijan and Goddard. Would I send Ferguson, Abuka, and Derrick Henry for Bijan and Goddard? I could. I could take on Bijan like that. Just a gorilla and a coop. Bijan for Judkins and Chase, or Bijan for Saquon and Devontae? Like Bijan for Jamar Chase and Judkins? I'll take Jamar Chase and Judkins. Logan, trade Diggs and Swift for Saquon. Would I trade Diggs and Swift for Saquon? Yeah, give me Saquon. Let's see, Jason, I offered Brock and CeeDee for Bijan and Judkins. Does he do it? He could. I don't know. That doesn't seem crazy. It could go either way. I mean, you still need someone to accept the trade. It's two people involved. It wouldn't surprise me if he went either way. Mateo. Gatson is my tight end, but he's day-to-day. My backup is Mason Taylor, who plays Thursday night. Should I play Mason or risk playing Gatson if he won't play? Or just play someone off of waivers. Schultz, Ertz, Freiermuth. I would probably just drop Mason Taylor and roll with Ertz. Ertz and Gadsden would be what I would end up doing. Mateo, you can also make a trade. Got a full week ahead of you. Benjamin Shaw, do you think I should push for a trade for Breece Hall? I currently only have Tracy and Vidal at running back. I think he'll be a little bit overvalued. If there is no Garrett Wilson for a couple weeks, that whole offense I would shy away from and think that they would just be pretty bad. CJ Flip says, okay, thanks. Whitecaps, he's already in the playoffs and his 4 top receivers fighting for 3 slots and only one good running back. He's in the playoffs. Why isn't he trying to max out his starting lineup? I don't know what we're talking about. Should I trade CJ Flip? Should I trade Cook and Rice for Gibbs and Nico Collins? Like you can. I guess I would want Gibbs and Nico Collins. I think so. I think I would go with Gibbs and Nico Collins. Cast 8, Dart or Mahomes rest of season? Probably Mahomes. I think Dart may end up missing. I mean, isn't he in the protocol? Dart concussion protocol. Is it COL? Lee's games with the injury. Rookie questionable for week 11 with a concussion. And Mahomes is pretty solid. If the question is which one should you trade away, that's a very different question than just who's better rest of season. Peppery Skunk, trade Rashee Rice for CeeDee? Sure. I don't do a lot of moves like that, but I think I would want CeeDee Lamb there. Oh, sup, Nick on TikTok. Puka and Swift for Bijan. I feel like you've got the and on the wrong side there, Nick. Why are we adding something to Puka to get Bijan? It should be the other way. It should be the other way if there's an and at all. Toner with a follow on TikTok. Thank you, Toner. Where are we? Big Bando's here. Gosh, I like big TVs. I don't know what a Bando TV is or Big Bando on TV. I'm just thinking of big TVs. Ryan Birnbaum with a follow. Brandon with the follow. Let's see. Sup, Captain J from Xavier Explains It All. Top 3 defenses for the playoffs? I will tell you, I do not know. Week 14. Green Bay against Chicago. Cleveland against Tennessee would be pretty solid. Cleveland against Tennessee. Denver against Vegas. That's the first ones that jump out to me. I have not looked that far ahead. Andrew LeBlanc, 8-2, just clinched the playoffs. Yes, yes. Have I clinched the playoffs? I'm 8-2. I haven't even thought of that. I'm 8-2, right? Nice. I'm in first. Guys, I don't look at my standings that often. Okay, playoff percentage, 99%. I don't know if I'm clinched. Okay. I feel like I'm doing all right. Here's the team. I'll need a quarterback and maybe a tight end. We're doing all right. Richie on TikTok, Henderson or Chase Brown. That's going to be close. Probably Chase Brown, though, based on the injury situation with Ramondre. I mean, we'll find out more each day. Pull to trigger is a Brees Marv rotation, a strong flex spot, and a 10-man. Yeah. The Professor 229 drop Hawk for Zach Ertz. I think so. They're both kind of waiver wire in and out type of guys. KJ Steele says, thanks, I'll go watch it now. Oh gosh, I'm 9 minutes behind on YouTube and Twitch. Okay. 9 minutes behind. Let's focus up. I don't want repeat messages. Big Bando TV 901. Should I move Garrett Wilson for Pickens and a late first? Yeah. What if it was a second instead? No. If you're 9-1, you might just hold him. If it sounds like it's a dynasty league, I might just hold him. I would expect his value to be higher this offseason over someone like Pickens, who is likely to, I don't know that the Cowboys re-sign him. So I just feel more sure that Garrett Wilson will have value. There'll be, if the Jets draft a wide receiver, he'll get a small value uptick in the offseason as well. MS, do you think Bucky will play again before the playoffs? I think so. Scuba Steve, Tyler Warren in Hampton to get McBride? You could. I don't remember your exact team. It's close to a lot, but you could. Jordan Johnson, I need help. Do I start T or Lad this week? Probably T, Jordan, but I'll drop rankings tomorrow. So we'll wrap them up this afternoon, and then the video will go out tomorrow morning. Swerve, do you think I can get anything for Garrett Wilson? Not a ton. Unless it's to a team that's already kind of clinched for the playoffs. Your bunk, London and Cook for Christian McCaffrey. Seems like a lot. I feel like you could get another piece back with McCaffrey. Scuba Steve, also Jettas in Hampton to get someone like CD, JSN, Puka, and Chase. It would only be like JSN and Puka for me on that deal. I don't know that I'm that down on Justin Jefferson compared to everyone else. MS, I'm in an 18-team league and just lost Kincaid. Should I pick up a Rams tight end? Yeah, probably. The Rams are only 29th versus tight ends. I don't follow that stuff a ton. So I was trying to go speed mode. Here's one where sometimes it's just who you played. I mean, I guess if it's Seahawks are 29th versus tight ends, which would mean they give up a lot of points. Yeah, then I would go with the Rams one. Jeter, Bijan owner is selling. What tier player combined with McBride could I get this through? I mean, ETN and McBride should clear it. Or should be enough. It doesn't mean they will. I would look at something like that. It doesn't mean they'll do it, but it wouldn't be awful if they did. Jordan Johnson, we covered that one. Shane, move Butte to the IR spot before he loses his out label. Replace Benson because he might be back. Smart because I don't have to drop anyone this week, or am I doing too much? No, it's good. I think it's all right. I mean, Butte is close to droppable, so it's not mission critical that we get it through, but that's not bad. The small edges. Does it in reality affect your long-term success? Unlikely, but better to do it than not do it. Avery, who should I trade for based off schedule for success in the last few weeks? For Pickens, Odunze, or McConkey? I wouldn't really think about it a ton that way. Just which guy can you even get would be a bigger concern for me. For as many people say that they can't get trades done in their league, like I think a lot of it is questions like this. Like I need to rank these guys first before I can even decide who I'm trying to trade for. Just try to trade for all of them and see who even responds. Solzer was struck by injury curse this year. I'm 3-7. Only thing I can do now is sabotage by trying to beat out everyone else, or I'll have my full healthy roster for once this season if Dart is cleared. Ooh, let's see if Dart gets cleared. You could also pick up someone to fill in. CJ Stroud playing the Titans could be fine. See, Juju not on beat, reach member level 12. We got Xavier here as well. News on Bucky. I think he's 7 as of yesterday. It does not show me a number. It shows me a number when someone reaches a new level. Xavier, news on Bucky? No, nothing. Nothing. Piojo, I guess being 9-1, nobody wants to trade with me, which is kind of wild because they could give you players like Bucky or Garrett Wilson, and you could just like you have the ability to just hold them for the playoffs, and they could get players who help them win. Piojo, I need a better wide receiver. I don't know if I can trust Tez Johnson, Parker Washington. They could be okay. Shane Kindred, mine is also 99% at 8-2. Does it go to 100? You know, Fortnite. Do you want to play Fortnite later?
Yeah, it's King Pop David Hunter going.
Yeah.
It says Fortnite with the King Pop David Hunters. The week. Mira.
Yeah. So we'll play some later.
Yeah.
Good dance, kiddo. Alrighty, Jordan Johnson. We caught Jordan. Okay, I see another question from Jordan. Yeah, does it go to 100%? I'm not sure. Watermelon trade Aaron Jones for Jalen Warren? Yeah, give me Jalen Warren there. XTN3R Jacobs and Dowdle for Jonathan Taylor. It's not horrible. I could do it. Info shorts Javante and Tet for Saquon. I'm 10-0. Would I trade Javante Williams and Tet for Saquon? I definitely could. If you're 10-0 and you're just trying to get a monster playoff lineup, it's likely that Saquon is better, and I would pay Tet to get to it. Oh, you sent it twice, 2 minutes apart, my man. X103R Shadow. I'm starting Troy Franklin, DJ Moore, and Puka in a 10-man. Should I trade Puka to get better wide receiver depth, even though it's this late? Terry and Godwin on bench. Only if you're getting huge upgrades. Like check and see what the Justin Jefferson guy would give you to go up to Puka. If you're getting Jefferson and James Cook, Jefferson and Rice, Jefferson and London, Jefferson and Lad, maybe not Lad, Jefferson and Nico, like big deals, then yeah, do that. But you want a massive deal. Jesus Freak, do you think London is steady production going forward? As steady as anyone. I think he's a very good player. Thinking maybe sending Jefferson for London and Goddard. If you really needed a tight end. I don't know that I'm looking to, I mean, we did a video today on Justin Jefferson and someone sent just London for Jefferson, and I wouldn't really do that. Ryan McDermott on YouTube, trade Bijan for Amon-Ra? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That's a fine value crossover. Info, shorts, we covered a bunch of these. Guys, we do get to everything on Twitch and YouTube. We try our best on TikTok as well. Retyping it does just make it worse. Scuba Steve says celebrity guest. Yeah, it's Veterans Day, so she's got no school. Means I slept in another 10 to 20 minutes. Michael Regine, PPR 1 flex, 2 wide receiver. I have, okay, do I trade Algier, Franklin, or Parker for Stafford? Yeah. If you need a quarterback, yeah. Ryan McDM trade Bijan for Amon-Ra. I think we just covered that one, didn't we? Oh yeah, Ryan is asking. Ryan joined on YouTube and asked it. Ryan then switched to Twitch and asked it. We cover both. I think it shows both. Let me check. Maybe it only shows the Twitch chat on the stream, and in that spot, I would understand. AXM trade Cook, Marv, and Devonta for CD and London. Would I trade James Cook, Marv, and Devonta Smith for CD and London? Probably. If we just did Cook for London, would I do Marv and Devonta for CD? Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. And then you pick up another player. Saber, how do you feel about the Colts receivers not named Tyler Warren after yesterday? And should I try to sell Pittman on my next high? I still like them. If you think you can get top 12 return for Pittman, yeah. But I still like Pittman. Michael, do I think he will accept it? He is weak at wide receiver. Just ask him, man. Just ask him. Do I think he'll accept it? He could, but just ask him. Antonio Lopez, I'm PPR, I'm 4-6. I have no clue what to do. And this is your team. We do, Antonio, we only do team reviews like that through our fantasy Discord. We have our roster help and screenshots channel where you can post your team for advice like that, where it's just, here's my team, tell me what to do. That we do in the Discord. We don't really do that on the live stream. Soldier, I'm in a 2-quarterback league. Yes, the best kind of league. So I do have Penix as a backup, even though he sold my matchup this week. I'm starting Flacco and Dart if he's cleared, because Jayden Daniels isn't coming back yet. Okay, so you have options. You have options. It's not ruined. Let's see. Alex with the follow on TikTok. Yins the life with the follow. Lucas Rossi on TikTok. Troy Franklin or Pierce. Ooh, I might. Pierce is on bye, so I'm gonna go with Franklin. Ethan Trombley. Drop Bo or Caleb Williams for Burrow. Yeah. And then you just go through the next couple weeks matchups and pick which one you're holding. Remy 458, Bijan for Dowdle and Nico. Like you could. That doesn't seem horrible return. I don't know that I'm doing it in every situation. Fernando Escamilla just got Bucky for Jennings and Woody. Okay, I feel like you got him. That seems cheap to me. Damian Kim, Worthy, Derrick Henry, Jameson. Ooh, I don't even know what I'm reading here, Damian. Assail Martinez, I'm 4-6. I traded Bucky, Sutton, and Jacoby for Chase Brown, Odunze, and Tyrone Tracy. Sutton and Jacoby for, yeah, I think it's okay. Ricky Roma, 25, Bijan for Barkley. I think I would still rather have Bijan. I've been on the Bijan side of that since draft period, and I would probably stay with Bijan. It's close. I wouldn't think it was crazy. If we were drafting today and someone took Saquon over Bijan, like, okay, I would understand that they liked them, that they're allowed to like a player more than I do. I specifically would just go with Bijan. Adam Flynn, trade Myers for Vidal. Yeah. Yep. Sounds fine. No issues on that one. And Husk 77. Should I play Marks as a flex this week over Johnston? You can. I might end up with Johnston ranked higher, but I don't think it's crazy. Lucas Rossi, what do I do with Quentin Johnson and JMO? See if you can move them. If you've got two of those guys and you're not sure about which one to start or what to do with them, send out offers. Build a package of both of those guys and just get one better receiver back. Alex J. Trade. J.K. Dobbins, Pearsall, and Parker Washington for Rico Dowdle. Yeah, that's fine. You're 9-1. J.K. Dobbins could be hurt. Pearsall not really playing. Parker Washington, a nice high upside guy that you can send to someone else and just lock up Dowdle as a second running back. I think you're okay. This is just to replace Jonathan Taylor in a bye week, kind of. I think you're all right. Antonio Lopez, I'd assume you'd say to trade Hunter and Bucky, but what would you say? Oh, I think you're just following up within the same. I think I've already responded to that. Ryan, trade Bijan for Amon-Ra. Sure. That's fine. Dom Chungus. What's up, Dom HC? Dom C. Ibuka and Dowdle for Puka in an 8-man. because it's an 8-man. In a 12-man league, I would say, hey, I don't know. But in an 8-man league, the best players is where the value goes. Everybody starts fewer players, or everybody starts the same amount. There's just fewer teams. So you take the available value and you spread it out over fewer players, which means the top tier players take more value. So someone like Puka in an 8-man league would be more valuable, where this trade makes sense way more than in a 12-man league. So yeah, that's all right. And it might not even go through. Souls are my lineups this week. What am I looking at? My lineup this week is this. Where's the question? There's no question. Okay. Bryce McKinney, thoughts on 26 and 27 first round pick and Charbonnet for HN and Dynasty? Okay. Is that enough to get back? Kind of. It wouldn't be crazy if someone said no, that wasn't enough and they wanted more, but that's close to. I mean, it's 2 firsts and then Charbonnet's not quite a first, but if he's the lead guy in Seattle next year, could you trade him for a first? This offseason, could you trade Charbonnet for a 27 or 28 first? Possibly. That's kind of the value on it. You might be able to get a better deal. Naheem, Henry, Judkins, and CeeDee Lamb. Henry, Judkins, and CeeDee Lamb. So we're getting a lot here for Gibbs and London. If we just say CeeDee and Gibbs, I feel like those are still even. London for Henry and Judkins is a lot. I think I don't know that I would give up the 3 there. If I would probably take the side with 3, CeeDee, Judkins, and Henry, and do a different deal. Esteban on YouTube, how do you feel about starting Tez and Parker this week? That might be your best option. That might be the best option. Parker Washington looking all right for the Jags. Tez doing okay for Buccaneers. The thing, like late in the season, there's going to be guys that have great second half stretches, and it could be them. Shane Kindred, 8-2, about to send the most diabolical 2-for-1s as injured guys like Garrett Wilson, maybe even Mike Evans. Hey, all right. I'm not sure when Mike Evans comes back, if he does, but yeah. Jason Ortiz, will you trade Woody Marks and Hunter Henry for Kittle? Yes. Yep. I mean, I already got Nico starting. That's why I don't want Woody. I wouldn't worry about that. It's just the deal is very good. I would much rather have Kittle than those 2 players. Sutton is my flex, and Hampton will replace him when he comes back. Not bad. Not bad, Jason. John G. Charleston, someone wants to trade me Alec Pierce for Aaron Jones in PPR. Kind of stacked at wide receiver, but my running backs are middling. Jones, Charbonnet. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But you can always make if you know you have that move, wants to trade you Alec Pierce and you want to roll with him, then take one of the way I'll say this, John G. Charleston, if you know you're bringing in a wide receiver, you can then, or that you're able to, you can then trade one of the ones that you have for a different running back. So see if that becomes available for you. OG Schmurder, who could I trade Brees for? I need another running back. Just Brees for another running back? I don't know that you're going to get a better one. I think you got to include some other parts there. Underdog, do I send Stephon Diggs for Kincaid? Check and see if he's playing this week. That value's not terrible if they're both healthy, but see if he's playing. Soldier, forgot to add, do I start Quentin Johnson or start Mark Andrews in the flex? I would start Johnston. Jason's just listing what his team would be. Saber, not sure if you got around to my question. I think so. You went AFK. How do you feel about the Colts receivers? I think they're okay. Do I sell Pittman on his next high? I mean, you could sell Pittman right now. You could sell Pittman after another week if you wanted to. I think he's still a top 15. It wouldn't surprise me if he was still top 15. It's Ken. Can I get away with Harold Fannin this week? Sure. You got Warren on bye, thinking about starting Ertz. They're both solid options. Pace, pick 2 for the flex. Charbonnet, Sutton, Dobbins, JMO. I think Dobbins is hurt. So it's going to be Sutton and Charbonnet for me. Neff, it's Caleb Williams, James Cook, and Debo for CD and Ladd. Yeah, I would take CD and Ladd there. Liam on TikTok. What should I do with Jay Jettis? That was the video today. Just hold him. The trade value is very low, but I did a trade value today on Justin Jefferson. So you can check that one out. Adam on TikTok. Where would you rank Ladd rest of season? Top 15? Right? He's wide receiver 12 on the year so far, rest of season. I mean, he's definitely top 12, top 15. I would put him behind Rashee Rice, maybe around Nico Collins. Got Colin on TikTok, Dowdle and Saquon for Achan in an 8-man. That seems like we're just buying a guy off of his best week. What have Achan's other weeks been like? In an 8-man, it's possible. He's running back 3 on the year. He was running back 5 last year. Feels like we're really spiking his value off of a 40-pointer. He had a 30-pointer as well. It's not insane. I feel like we got to get someone back in, though. What was that? That was Roses from Giancarlo. And Giancarlo, Jacobs for Judkins and Chase Brown. Need another running back badly. You could also check and see like if other players are available for cheaper. But I don't know that that's crazy to me. Judkins for Henry from LD Hendricks. I think I still like Henry. Jason Ortiz, will you do Tet McMillan and Kamara for Ladd and Shakir? Yeah. I already start Rico, so I don't want 2 Panthers. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think that's really that important. Kamara is my running back 5. I don't start him. I think the trade value is just fine. Ted McMillan and Kamara for Ladd and Shakir. Like we just pulled up Ladd. He's better than Tet, and Kamara is about even for Shakir. So I would just take Ladd over Tet there. And none of the teams they play on would really come into play for me. It's just the player values are higher on the Ladd side. Shadow, I might be taking over someone's dynasty team. Do it. I never played before. I use Fantasy Calc to trade in my redraft. Was wondering if you'll ever make a video on how to trade in dynasty leagues using future round picks. Yeah. I mean, that's what the TikTok page started as, Shadow. So that will be here in the off season. More dynasty stuff. There's just not enough time in the day. And if I talk too much dynasty here, and we have Zaven Gray with another dynasty question here. There was a while when I would show drafts from our dynasty league. Like here's a league. If I went to draft results, there was a while when I would stream like this with this on screen, and people would get so confused that quarterbacks had went early, and they would just post about that. Quarterbacks in the first round. So when that happened, we just switched over to redraft and covered that because it's very hard to show fantasy football content, but get someone to read anything on a screen saying that we are covering dynasty. So we will. That's what we did originally on the TikTok page, and we will as well. So we've been doing redraft trade values. Like here's real trades that have happened. We'll do that with dynasty as well. And probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks, we'll start doing more weekly dynasty trade value shows. And then as we're at week 11 here. Once more, I mean, the numbers haven't dropped as much as I thought they would for viewers across YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Once we start seeing more signs of that, we'll put out more dynasty information and tell people like, hey, it's way more fun if you're playing dynasty, and start converting to that. Zaven Gray in a dynasty season's basically done. Want to move on from Nico, looking for a running back and a pick. Who could I target? Half-man PPR. I mean, probably Kyron in a first, Kyron in a future first, something like that would be easy. It might only be a second if you're doing it for a 26. Same thing with James Cook. Breece Hall could be a value riser in the offseason. It's expected he would change teams, things like that. I'd stay away from guys that I did a video on dynasty running backs that could lose value this offseason on YouTube. This one here, running backs you would regret holding just based on their contract status. Like, are they cuttable? Is it likely that the team drafts someone to replace them? Or is it plausible? Like Woody Marks is a nice young player. The team is not tied to him, is not that tied to him. He could easily be replaced next year if they just drafted a stud running back, and it's possible Woody Marks just wouldn't have as much of a role next year. So that's the stuff we cover in that one. Jackal says, would I give Breece Hall and Dobbins for Dowdle and Schultz? Sure. I mean, you're trading Breece Hall going into a much worse situation without Garrett Wilson there. And then Dobbins, we think, could be hurt for a while. So, yeah. Shadow says he'll be around this offseason. When's the website projected to launch? For team reviews, we'll start doing Dynasty team reviews probably around January. TC, George Pickens, and Daniel Jones for Marv and Drake May. Sure. I think I'm just taking the Marv and Drake May side. I like May more than Daniel Jones, and that's kind of just the only difference. KJ Sell, I just traded Olave and Henderson for Chase Brown after watching the video. What do you think? All right. Yeah, we don't know Henderson's ceiling. He's got a lot of volatility there, but Chase Brown's been pretty good. I think we're all right. KJ Frederick, I currently have Bo, and then you get to pick up another player as well who could gain value. KJ Frederick, I currently have Bo Nix and Sam Darnold rostered. Should I drop Nix or Aaron Rodgers for the spots? Should I drop Nix or Aaron Rodgers for the spot start? Should you drop Bo Nix for Aaron Rodgers for the spot start? You could. Playing the Bears, I expect that he's going to be pretty good against the Bears. But I might just be fine holding Nix, and like we're starting to get a little cute, Frederick, but sure. Like Bo Nix is then someone you could pick up. If you're worried that someone's going to pick up Bo Nix, trade him away. Cyber Zion is daddy. Should I push to trade Kyron for a better running back? Worried about the split carries with Corum? No, I'm not worried about him. He's an RB1. He's like running back 8, 9, 10 rest of season, and that's what he's valued at, and that's what we paid for him. Who do I think is a better running back than Kyron other than the obvious guys? No one. I'm still pretty high on Kyron Williams. Slush166, Chase Brown, Woody Marks, Travion, start which two? Probably Chase Brown and Travion, depending on Ramondre's health. Twirtle Tap, what are your thoughts on Bijan? I know it's not mainly his fault because his performance lost me this week, and I'm slightly worried. He's been mediocre. I mean, that was the video yesterday. I'm going right back to him. I wouldn't really dip his value at all. Jonathan Santiago, Mahomes, Goff, or Flacco this week? Probably Flacco or Mahomes. Very close to each other. And it might end up being Flacco ahead. KJ Steele, that's what I was thinking too for now, picking a guy between Kareem Hunt, DeMarcado, and Parker Washington. Probably Parker Washington. If he has another good game, people are going to, he would become tradable. Angelo, Sutton plus Monty for Jalen Warren. Sure. Nathan the Giant, sell high on Travion before Ramondre is back. That's my usual move. Not just that we're selling high before it's more of people think that Ramondre won't have a role when he's back, and I don't know that I believe that. So I would be okay moving Travion based on that. Disciplined, not motivated. Waiting on Burrow to come back. Have Love and Goff. Was thinking of trading Javonte and DK for Rice and so maybe Genti. So it's just, would I trade Javonte and DK for Rice and Genti? Sure. I think that's fine. Javonte for Rice was in the video today. We did a video on Rashee Rice's trade value. That was one in the video, and I could easily take Rice and then DK for Genti. Seems fine. Adam Radabaugh, is AJ Brown still a viable start? I think so. How bad last night was scoreless. Almost. What was the score last night? Late in the game. They didn't really start scoring at all until the fourth quarter. So I don't know that we should look at last night's stats and say someone is or isn't startable based on that. I think I want over here. Here it is. Looking at the box score, you can go to, if you look at the play-by-play, I'm really tracking to see this. At halftime, tie game 0-0. At the start of the fourth quarter, 3-0. So much of this game just did not have offense that will exist in other games. Final score 10-7. I don't want to overreact and say a player isn't startable based on after seeing the last game with a 10-7 final score. What was his final stat line? Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, 3 points. The last game we saw him was 28, 14, 9. I think he's closer to this, somewhere between 14, 28, 10, 20, then 3. Is he startable? I think so. Jordan Schwab, what's Kittle's trade value worth at this point, do you think? I don't know. Let's do this one. I typically just go to the trade database and look at here are trades that have happened involving Kittle. Unreal JD, resubscribe with Prime. Thank you, Unreal JD. On to 2 months. He's got the 2-month badge. We've got badges for extra months after that, and we'll get to it. I don't know what to do in the off season. Trey on TikTok, should I start ETN or Vidal? I'm gonna end up with ETN ahead of Vidal most weeks. Danny, best waiver wire pickups for defenses. I don't cover defenses on the waivers. I do have a waiver video on TikTok to check out. C Tully 10, Tracy and Keenan Allen for Gainwell and AJ Brown. Sure, I could do Tracy and Keenan Allen for AJ Brown. I think Gainwell, like, let's see if I can get my face not so white. That's annoying. It's annoying that the auto feature should auto set the ISO. But then if I just go and manually set it to a better one, it's clearly I'm not blown out white face. Like the auto should be a little bit better. What was that? That was Luna 701 with the follow. Trissy Poo, any suggestions for my end situation of Gibbs, Monty, and Swift? I don't know what that is. What's like Gibbs, Monty, and Swift? Any suggestions for your situation? I guess start them. I'm not sure what you mean. Jake Nicholson with the follow. Thank you, Jake Nicholson. Just traded Diggs for Marks. Need a running back. Yeah, Puka JSN. I don't think that's crazy. Juju not on beat. Goddard or Ferguson rest of season. Likely Ferguson. I would think it's Ferguson. Herleezy, what do I do at Jettas? That was the video today. I'm fine with Justin Jefferson. We did trade values on Justin Jefferson today. I'm usually saying that I'm holding him. Jurg M3 just traded away Ken Walker and Tet for Jalen Warren. Finally off the Ken Walker wagon. Thoughts? That's not terrible. I don't think that's terrible. Apple user 584 traded Bijan and Sutton for Jamar Chase and Sutton. Kind of wild. I don't know how you got that one through. Gio, what are your thoughts on pickup Brissett, Rodgers, or Mac Jones? I haven't wrapped up like deeper tight end rankings yet for the matchups on each of those guys. Probably Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Schwab, give up Pittman for Kittle potentially. If you needed a tight end, I don't think that's a crazy value swap. Elian Diaz, trade JSN for Judkins and London. I think you could end up with more. Like, why are we doing it? I don't think I'm doing that. There's not a lot of situations where I would be doing that. Mike says trade Henderson, which means every one of you now needs to do it. Jarnut, what should I do with Nico? Put him in your lineup. See what someone's willing to give you for him in your league. That's really it. Real Robinette starts Stafford or Hurts next week. Ooh. Stafford against the Seahawks. I might end up with Hurts ahead playing the Lions. Hopefully a higher scoring game. Let's make sure I'm not missing too many. Looks like I let this slide a bit. Okay. Twartle tap we covered about Bijan. I'm not that worried about Bijan. That was a video yesterday. Just saying we get a lot of panic in the live streams. Jonathan Santiago we covered. KJ Stell. Yep. Okay, G-Mon. For the rest of the season, would you rather have Schultz or Otten? They're like the same dude to me. Currently have Henry and thinking of dropping him one for these two. Probably Otten. I think he's a little bit better of a player. They both got double-digit targets on Sunday. We're kind of hoping for that. Fred L. Anderson won the title gifter position on something there. It goes roses, 40 roses. Thank you, Fred L. Anderson. I got multiple different alerts before the noise came through. Thank you, Fred. Jonathan Santiago, Sutton, Wandale, or Tracy. Start one. It's probably still Cortland Sutton for me. And now this auto is no good. Sun went away. Let's see how bad auto gets. It's going to blow me out super white. CUADZ, Puka, BTJ Pollard, or Bowers, Nico, Diggs. Probably still Puka. It's close, but it's probably still Puka. Fred L. Anderson, would you do Bijan and Tyler Warren for Saquon and Ibuka? I could. Like, are we just trying to sell a tight end and get a different? I don't know that I'm jumping up and down to do it. Like, I'm not looking to get out on Bijan. Couldn't you pair Tyler Warren with someone else and just get Ibuka added on? That's kind of what I would think. The deal seems okay, but the opportunity cost of just keeping Bijan and trading Warren with someone else seems kind of high to me. Grizz trying to trade Pacheco and Gadsden for a running back this week with Jonathan Taylor on bye. Hey, good luck to you. Good luck. I mean, if Gadsden's day to day, Pacheco is bad, that might be a hard one to move. Arturo Ornelas, should I give up Rice for Jettas? You could. I don't know that I would be doing it. Like, do we think, if you really, I mean, maybe if you really think Justin Jefferson is way better than Rashee Rice, but they've been both been really good. And we don't know what's going to happen. I think they're both have the upside to be still really, really great. So I don't know that I'm doing it. Don't want to fall behind up here. Okay. I've got one screen of these to read. We covered Santiago, Carnage, TV Carnage. Would I start Denver defense against Kansas City, or should I pick up Chargers or Falcons? I would look at a different option. It's possible they get a bunch of sacks, but Kansas City's line has been pretty good. Sean Doherty, 2 trades. Which would you rather? McBride for Breece Hall and Devonta Smith, or McBride for Chase Brown and Marv? If I had to send McBride away, I would rather get back Chase Brown and Marv. I don't really want to be bringing in Breece Hall without Garrett Wilson for a while. Red Zone Risk is slated for the playoffs, looking to up-tier my running game. Yes, do it. I haven't read the trade. The trade is Javonte, Monungai, and Tet for Gibbs. I feel like you shouldn't need to have to send Monungai, but if I would, I mean, maybe you get another player back with Gibbs. If this guy's going to have to drop 2 players to make this deal, see who he's dropping and get someone added back. And then it's probably a yeah for the up tier. Unreal JD subscribed for 2 months in a row. He's the king. Scuba Steve says you dropped this king. Yes. Twartle Tap, are Nico and Mecca and Rice and Pittman good options going into the playoffs? Yeah. I mean, could you trade a Mecca and Pittman together, Nico and Pittman together, Rice and Pittman together? You could. Avery Anderson, Breece Hall, and Jalen Warren hold. Haven't been able to get any trades for replacing them. If no one wants to give you the value that you think they should be, then you just got to hold them. Justin, Josh Allen, and Fannin for Drake May, Kelsey, and Brian Robinson. I own Christian McCaffrey and won't be able to trade for another running back soon because of the deadline. I don't know that I would do it. I might just stay with Josh Allen. Maybe Drake May is better. Maybe. But I think I would just stay with Josh Allen. Avery Anderson, is Vidal worthy of a swap this week for one of them? Hall or Warren? Probably. I mean, I might have both of those guys ahead of them, and probably Jalen Warren. You could check it in the ranks tomorrow. Just a little bit behind on them. Bryce McKinney, I need to trade JMO or Troy Franklin in my dynasty league to make space for a tight end with Warren out. League mate is wanting JMO. Is a second rounder next year worth it? I mean, he was getting a first this past off season, and he's been playing well for 2 weeks. I mean, I think you could easily say they changed the play caller in Detroit. Jameson Williams is now getting focused. This is what we thought we were getting when he was worth a first in the offseason, and get a 28 or a 27 first for him, or add something on top of JMO to get a first. Mr. Luckaboo, big trade in my league this morning. First place gets Ibuka and Tyler Warren. Second place gets Njoku, Troy Franklin, and Puka. Wow, that's a big one. I probably like the Puka side, but I haven't crunched on that one. D Caddy, would you trade Josh Jacobs, Laporta, and Metcalf for Christian McCaffrey? You feel like it's too much? I definitely could. There are definitely teams that I've seen in the team reviews in the Discord where I would say, yeah, you just get the best player and go for it. You would make a deal. There's definitely teams that have come through where I would say you take Jacobs, Laporta, Metcalf, and target CMC, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, etc. in deals like that, and you hope that one of them goes through. Is Benson still out from Death Sunny? As far as I know. I mean, we won't with them on the let's just pull up Benson. Trey Benson still on IR. Is he a must add? This just a day ago says he was a must add. No news. No news. Should be added, but no news on it. Matinel, should I do Hall and Pittman Jr. for Justin Jefferson? I think so. I think that's not bad. Chip Boy made a big trade in 5 this month. Yes, you did. Yeah, we had a big dynasty trade. Let's see it. It involved Gibbs, right? Let's go. I could have just put it on the screen. I'm looking. I don't know why I didn't just do this. Here it is. All right, Brock Purdy. Trade has been complete. Why is this a nightmare to look at? You sent Purdy 3 firsts and got, what was it, 3 firsts and Purdy for Gibbs, White, and Baker. That's a big one. That's a big one. Jiggy says, I think I have a deep fantasy playoff team. I hope so, Jiggy. I hope so, Jiggy. Which side of this are you, Chop Boy? I'll just pull it up on my phone so I can actually read it. Okay, you sent Baker, Gibbs, and White and got multiple firsts. Yeah, I think you got enough firsts for Gibbs. And then Baker to Purdy seems fine. Yeah, Baker to Purdy seems fine. With Purdy being out, I don't hate that. I like both of them. I'm entering a retool. I like it. I like it. I might need to do that as well. Zach Edwards, 5-5 now, fighting for my life. I mean, what do we got left? We got 11, 12, 13. If you can get 2 of 3, 1 of or 3 of 3, you can get in there. Just entering the playoffs now. And I started 1-4. Now I'm 4. Now I'm 5-5 from N Goat. Is that what that is? Call me Nate is the name. You have to click on some of them. 5-5. Yeah, you can always come back, get things going. Eli, trade away. Josh Downs, receive Jerry Judy. Sure. Sure. I mean, they're both kind of close to droppable guys. Death Sunny, is Benson still out as far as we know? /166. I have Dart, Jayden Daniels, and Burrow on IR. What do I do? Oh boy. I mean, if you don't have anyone, I mean, I guess you just lost Dart. You could move. Do you move Jayden Daniels for some? Not Jayden Daniels. Do you move Burrow for something playing now? Or do you just free up spot? Can you pick up Flacco? Was he held through the bye week? Jordan Love is available. Stroud playing the Titans. Sam Darnold playing the Rams could be available. Just trying to make it through a couple more weeks. Nunez, I have Derrick Henry and ETN, Jordan Mason. I got an offer. Ibuka for Genty and Herbert. Herbert is for my Drake May upcoming bye week. I don't know that I want to trade for Justin Herbert to do 1 bye week. And then what? Trade him after, I hope, hopefully. Avery Anderson, who do you play this week? Franklin or Sutton? This has been tough to see who's the wide receiver 1. They're going to be very close. They're going to be very close. I'll have to look into more of like, was it just teams stopping Courtland Sutton and then they went to their second option who's good? I'm not positive yet. So we'll put that into the ranks. I think it might still be a slight edge to Sutton. Lil Dude, do you think it's worth it if I give CD and Addison for Ibuka and Nico Collins? Like it could be. I don't think I would. I'm not sure that I want to just move off of CD there. It could be worth it, but I don't know that I am. Nunez, like, I don't know the rest of the team. Could you trade Addison and someone else and just get up to a better receiver? And I would be happier doing that. All right, Nunez, I have Derrick Henry and ETN. We covered that one. HPS Drizzly is Nico and Ricky. Ricky Pearsall, good for Jettas. Like, I would not trade Justin Jefferson away for that. I would send that stuff for Jefferson. The money mark, would you trade away Saquon Barkley for Nico Collins and Aaron Jones? It's close. It's close. I might want a better piece there. Like, why are we doing it? But it's close. CB skill at 4 good running backs in my 8-man, trying to package for a great one like HN. Best value out of Dowdle, Saquon, Henry, James Cook. I could also add some receivers. CB skill, I could tell, like, I'm not in your league. It's all the whole thing now. If you're in an 8-man league, is you've got these 4 good running backs and wide receivers. There's 7 people you just need to go ask. And not all of them even have better running backs. You just have to ask if they're willing to do it. Mabity Dabity just completed my team. Just completed my team. I don't know what that means. 12-man, I'm 7-3. This is the team. Mabity Dabity, you're here all the time. Okay, here's the question. I traded Derrick Henry, Devonta, and Diggs for Amon-Ra and Parker Washington. Okay. That's not bad. I like the combining. Shadow, I asked a bit ago about trading Puka for wide receiver depth. I found one where I trade Puka and Kamara and get Devontae Adams and Nico Collins. I don't think I want to do that. Can't we find, like, it's easier to find wide receiver depth other ways than trading away Puka for it. That could be enough. But I would shop around. Like, can't you find a Puka's good enough that you could start a decent or like a crummier wide receiver at your second one and your team would still be fine. That's how good he is. I would look at other things. HBS Dridley is Rico and Ricky a bad trade. We covered that one. HBS Drizzlies was 2 minutes apart. Buckets for life. I traded Javante and Nix for HN and Darnold's. I like that a lot. Little dude, do you think it's worth it if I give CD and Addison for Ibuka? I think we covered that one. Zach Smith, Laporta, Garrett Wilson for Devonta Smith. I would be getting Devonta Smith. Would I send Laporta and Garrett Wilson for Devonta Smith? Like, sure. If we're out on Garrett Wilson, if he's out a month, I guess. Trade Diggs for Vidal from D-Love? Yeah. Drizzy 1 is Nico. Like, Drizzy. How many? Drizzly. Avery Anderson. Broncos is showing up too late, putting up points in the game too, which makes it tough as well. I don't know what that means. Avery Anderson, we keep riding the Parker Washington train, starting him every week. Has you nervous? I mean, we could find there's a good chance that we'll find someone else, like another player will appear, and then we can get off of the train. Like, Parker Washington, I'm fine with running them this week until we get more information from other players. Like, Jerry Jeudy had 12 targets. Does he start looking good again in the back half of the year? I don't know. Slush 166, BTJ, Jayden Daniels, and Woody for Devontae Adams. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Austin Ladd, Jefferson, or Ibuka rest of season. I think I'm staying Jefferson. Big Bando TV, would you take Pickens and a second for Garrett Wilson? I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade Wilson for that. TC, I traded George Pickens and Daniel Jones for Marvin Harrison and Drake May. Daniel Jones, Pickens, like, okay. I like Drake May's side. Archie is back. Trying to get myself HM for the playoffs. Also with Daniels out, I managed to get Dak. Is it worth giving Rice, Cook, Dak, and Trey Benson for HN Hurts? This is a million pieces. So we'll do this for Archie. Once we're into a billion pieces, I just need to start plugging it in on something. You're trading Dak, Rice, Cook, Trey Benson for HN, Hurts, Smith. I know that I just put the wrong thing in. Brown. What are we looking at here? Yeah, probably. How do we start crossing these over? James Cook for HN. Yeah, I do give the slight edge to HN. And Cook and Benson is enough for HN. And then these other things, Dak and Rice for Hurts, Brown, and Smith. Yeah, I think it's fine. Buckets for life. Would I trade Ferguson for McBride or much value? Would you trade Ferguson for McBride or much value? It's an 8-man league. I would rather have McBride. I don't understand the rest of the question. Ginge season, should I try to package AJ Brown and JMO for a better receiver or running back? Absolutely. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. TC on YouTube. I traded. Yep, we covered that one. Walker Scoot. I have Henry, Christian McCaffrey. What am I looking at? Should I take that to get a solid quarterback? McCarthy, Flacco, and Brissett for quarter. After sending was offered. Here it is. Was offered May for Henry. Would I trade Derrick Henry to get Drake May? And you have Flacco and Brissett? No, I'll probably just start Flacco this week, Brissett, and find someone else later. And then have Derrick Henry starting. Adam says Rico for Cook. Rico Dowdle for James Cook. I would take James Cook. E, trade London, Dowdle, Darnold, and Christian McCaffrey for Diggs. D-Sal sent, I've been scanning for D-Sal. I think we just get a lot of roses from D-Sal and not always a question going with them. Would I trade Otten and Quentin Johnson for Ladd? Yes, I would. Eric Page, trade Chase Brown, Aaron Jones, and Waddle for Bijan and Devonta. Chase Brown, Aaron Jones, and Waddle for Bijan and Devonta. Yeah, give me the Bijan side. Cam Rimley, is Olave a sell high? And for who? Or keep rest of season? Cam is the #1 liker on TikTok. Cam, the answer is always sell for every player. I mean, what offers are you getting for Olave? The answer is always sell. You got to go track down who you could get. That's the whole game, Cam. The best way to win fantasy football is track what the other managers in your league think of other players. So if you don't know what Olave is available is what you could get for Olave, that's the game. You've got no offers on Olave. So is it possible to sell high? Is it possible to sell at all? I'm hearing no. Got Angry Grover back in. I'm still feeling JJ McCarthy is not amazing. Angry Grover, let me know where you're at on that. Zach Gibbs or James Cook? Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs by a bit. Prestigious. Ladd McConkey and Romeo Dobbs for Justin Jefferson. I would take Justin Jefferson there. E, please answer. Trade London, Dowdle, Darnold for Christian McCaffrey and Diggs. Would I trade London, Dowdle, and Darnold for McCaffrey and Diggs? Yeah, probably. I think so. Would I trade London and Dowdle for Christian McCaffrey? And then Darnold to Diggs. Like, I guess you get to move Darnold for Diggs. It's okay. It's not insane. Angry Grover says, how are you doing, Jack? We're doing fantastic. Unspoken Legends resubscribed for 3 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 3 months. It's getting too cold outside to be working on a roof. Oh, you're working on a roof? Oh no. Thank you for the 3-month resub. Thank you. Outside on a roof. It is too cold for that. Come on in, warm up. We'll talk about some trades. People will say, please answer. Angry Grover is back. What should I expect in return for Marv or T-Mac? Angry Grover, if it's just 1 for 1 or 2 for 1, we have our video on that one, the trade tips video. If you want to send 2 for 1, if it's just what running back could you get for Marv? I mean, it's like Brees. Still similar to where we drafted Marv. He's kind of just been what we thought, like a decent wide receiver 2, right? Let's go to values for Marv. We're drafting him late 3rd round in the draft. He's been disappointing. Not as good. So ETN would be a fine crossover. Prestigious, what's an additional player with Ladd for Justin Jefferson? Didn't you have one, Prestigious? Like, what would I need to add it on Ladd? I still am very high on Justin Jefferson. I would need at least Judkins added on. Angry Grover, should I hold and hope they get him a better quarterback for this year? For Marv, I don't know that they're going to get him a better quarterback. A lot of stuff I'm holding. I mean, I'm not sure I'm tracking on the question. Just what should you trade for those two? If you just want to know what you should trade for those 2 players, Tet and Marv, we've got our video of how I build a package 2 for 1. We've got that one. Daryl Robin with the follow. Thank you, Daryl. Anthony Richardson's here. Otten or Juwan Johnson. I'm going Kate Otten most weeks. Cody Wiles, thank you for the follow. All right, let's see. We covered Schmerda, MS. Did we cover MS? Trade away Ken Walker and Rashad Bateman for Montgomery? Sure. Yeah. Scuba Steve. Unspoken Legends, just when I thought you couldn't get more legendary. And we should not speak about it. Eventually, it'll be Spoken Legends. I think, yeah, so MS, I think that's okay. Ken Walker and Bateman for Montgomery. Buckets for Life is here. Picked up Henderson over Algier on waivers. Yeah, I like that. I think that's the way it should go. Ginger Season, AJ Brown and JMO for Brees Hall. It's not crazy. I don't think that's crazy. Archie, for trying to win the playoffs, would you rather try and trade for Gibbs or Achane? I don't ever think that way, Archie. I'm never thinking which one should I even try to play for or trade for. I'm assuming that it's going to be hard to trade for either or both. So I'm trying to trade. I'm sending offers for both until one gets accepted. So I don't really ever think that way. Like, which guy would I even try to trade for? I'm trading for both. Let's put the schedule back on the screen for week 11. Unspoken Legends heard some talk on a podcast today about how Justin Jefferson and Flowers are currently performing at the same level. It sounds crazy, but the stats don't lie. But one's better. But one's clearly better. If getting the same receptions on their target rate could be true, but one is better. Avery Anderson, someone offered me Derrick Henry and London for Cook and Rice. Like, would I move James Cook and Rashee Rice for Derrick Henry and London? No, probably not. I don't know that I would. Like, why would we? How far off is our Rice in London? I think maybe London slightly ahead, but it could go the other way. And then James Cook and Derrick Henry, it could go either way. On something like that, I don't do a ton of stuff like that, where there's not really enough to know what the future is going to be. Fabian Gutierrez, who do you think I can get for Judkins and Sutton or Jennings? Fabian, that's what we have. Who do you think you could get for 2 players in a package? That is a video that we have on YouTube. So we're probably up to 5. I don't keep count during the live stream, but we usually hit double digits every day. Who do you think I can get for these 2 players? This is how I build trades for them. Alejandro, trade Justin Jefferson and Marv Harrison Jr. for Chase Brown and CeeDee Lamb. Sure. I mean, here's how here's how I break that one down. Like, would I trade Justin Jefferson for CeeDee Lamb? Fine. And then would I trade Marv for Chase Brown? Yeah, I would. I would rather have Chase Brown. And that's enough for any difference between Jefferson and Lamb. So I would take the Chase Brown side. Perky Jerky's back on YouTube. What is going on, Perky Jerky? I've received an offer. ETN and Olave for Rice. My running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason, and Chuba. Hopefully people who have been watching for a while can predict what I'm going to say. Like, what I'm seeing is you don't like your running backs. You have Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason, and Chuba, and someone came at you coming after one of your best players to try to solve that problem. Is ETN and Olave enough for Rice? Probably not for me. So why you got to send out other offers to other people to get running backs. Or if your record is good enough, like, you just take the hit 1 week and then try to get an RB2 for next week. Could you get Charbonnet is probably super cheap. Vidal is probably really cheap. I'd rather you target players like that and just patch up that one little spot rather than blow up one of your best players to get 2 there. Dominic Labuti. Is that how you say it? I have Josh Allen and Drake May. What do you think I can get for Josh Allen? Same kind of range that he was getting drafted in. 2nd round status, late 2nd round. So Kyron and maybe a little bit on top of Kyron, Chase Brown and more, Ladd. You might have to add something on to get to Drake London, but maybe you just get Drake London. Maybe you get Nico Collins plus. Just think of the guys that we were drafting in the second round. They're all kind of maintained value, or at least the ones that have maintained value, and start there. Mason Fitzsimmons trade Warren and Ladd for Jettas. I don't know what Warren it is. Would I trade Tyler Warren and Ladd for Jettas? I could. Would I trade Jalen Warren and Ladd for Jettas? I definitely could, yeah. If I have other running backs, sure. And I'm just trying to consolidate. I'm trying to consolidate right now. Kavasesh. I got offered Lamar and RJ Harvey for ETN in May. Should I take it? Like, possibly. Do you need to? Do you want to? We're kind of just calling our shot. Like, does RJ Harvey break out and then become better than ETN? It's possible. You don't have to take this deal. You're fine if you hold. We just don't know the future of those guys. Dominic, I have Zay Flowers, Debo, and AJ Brown. Who should I try and get rid of and upgrade? All of them? Dominic, I've seen you in here before, but not a ton. So I don't just mean they're all bad players. I mean, at all times, Dominic, if you have Zay Flowers, Debo, AJ Brown, you got to be shopping all of them. I've liked AJ Brown longer than most people, but I'm not in your league. Who's in your league? Do they like Debo? Do they trust that the wide receiver one for any team is just good and has value? Then that's Debo. Same thing with Zay Flowers. You got to go find out who's in your league and who they like. I would still give you stuff for AJ Brown, but I don't play with you. So you have to go find out. And then whichever one people are willing to buy, that's the one you move. Avery Anderson, who you got higher in this week's matchup, Stafford or Hurts? I'm leaning Stafford. I don't know yet. Probably Hurts. Probably Hurts, but I'm not sure. I have not crunched everything out for ranks yet. So we'll record our ranks tonight, post them tomorrow. But in the afternoon, after we drop off the live, I'll solidify them. Underdog, do I trade Nico or Rice for Ferg? I have to get a replacement for Tucker Craft. Either one of those is way too much for Ferguson. Jagger Lloyd, should I trade Jamar and Benson for London and Javante? Jamar Chase and Benson for London and Javante? You only have Benson and Brees? Same thing that we've said with other people. If you need a second running back, why are we jumping to moving our top wide receiver to solve the problem? Like, can't we get it somewhere else? Can't we get ETN for a different player down the list? Can't we get Vidal for really cheap right now? Riz, do you think I should worry about Bijan and his red zone touches? Not really. Not a ton. Scuba Steve, Perky Jerky's one of your favorite jerkies. Could be. Ryerson Forster, would you trade Achane and Sutton for Barkley and Metcalf? No. 8-man league, need to win out pretty much just because Achane and Sutton have their buys still. Would I do it to move around buys? Okay. But I don't. Jeff Buckley fan, what are the waiver wire ads? I did a video on it, JBF. We're starting to get into the era where you're just grabbing handcuffs. If you're making the playoffs, like, it's not, if you don't have any other options, like, you could always add a handcuff. Parker Washington's probably still available. There's not a ton this week. If Joe Burrow was dropped, it's time to snag him. Since he's been returning to practice. What other ones came up? Yeah, you would have to check the video. Jacob Fanta, I'm 12-man, 8-2. This is your team. Okay, just did Harvey for Bucky Irving and Franklin for Garrett Wilson. Are these good? Would I rather have Harvey or Bucky Irving? Probably Bucky. And would I rather have Garrett Wilson or Franklin? Maybe Franklin for someone who's playing. That's where we're starting to get into. Like, I don't know where we're going to be. Or would I trade Franklin for Garrett Wilson if I'm 8-2? I would. Yeah. If you're 8-2, yeah. Jagger Lloyd, should I trade Jamar and Benson for, we read this one. Underdog says, who else? I don't know. Do I trade Nico? Yeah. I'm not like, what other tight ends could you get? I mean, Otten is probably super cheap in a trade or on waivers. Gadsden could be hurt. Laporta's probably pretty cheap and could have been replaced by someone. Loveland is probably cheap. Theo Johnson cheap. Hawkinson. Cash money was offered Saquon for Jalen Warren and T. Higgins. I mean, you're in a 10-man league. I'm high on Warren rest of season, but the Saquon stack sounds well. I mean, I'm staying with the Saquon side. I was offered Saquon for Jalen Warren and T. Higgins. If I'm in a 10-man league, I want to start combining stuff. I want the better players in my. I don't want, especially if I'm in a 10-man league. I don't really want depth. You want the best players. Underdog, who should I target at tight end? We just covered some. I mean, Hunter Henry's probably dirt cheap, Fannin cheap. If we're just filling in a spot, I want to make sure that we go through like what are these cheap options you can get before we're heavily down tiering off one of those receivers. Elijah Barber, hold Aaron Jones as a flex or ship him with Derrick Henry for Saquon. Depending on the roster, I could ship him for Saquon. I don't know that Derrick Henry is that much further behind Saquon, so you could also check and see on other options. Other tight ends you could target. Kincaid's hurt. Ertz is probably still really cheap and is fine. Sanchismo, I want to get rid of McLaurin, Stevenson, and Ferguson. I need a wide receiver. What can I do? So that's Jake Ferguson. I mean, Stevenson and McLaurin are not going to add that much. But we get asked this a ton of times every single day. Sanchismo, if you have players you want to ship out in a package for an upgrade, this is how I build trade packages. It's a video on YouTube, filmed it right in this room. It's under 9 minutes. We just get asked it every day. So that is how we do it. Unspoken Legend says you can use a site like Fantasy Calc to get an approximate guess on the value of Rice or Nico, which is what I use. Underdog, do I pick up AJ Barner off the waiver wire? If that's the best option, if that's the best option available on waivers, I would snag that and then see what you can do for a trade. Okay, here we go. Wife sent me a text. Thanksgiving pies. Only 4 pies to choose from. Chocolate pistachio silk. That could be good. There's no pumpkin? New York coconut custard. I think I don't want that at all. No pumpkin, she says in text. We are in the same room. Roasted apple crumble. I feel like we got to go crumble. Maple pecan custard. It has a nice fall vibe. What are we doing? I might go maple pecan custard. I don't think I've ever had a pecan pie. Maybe I have. It sounds good. I bet I would like it. Okay, RyZB. I'm in here a lot and thought I'd let you know my name is pronounced RyZB. Not annoyed by how you've been saying it. Hey, I'm just glad someone says how to say the names. Someone says how to say the names. Like we've got someone that I just call Mobbity Dobbity because I don't know how to read it. Or Dominic Labooty. I think it's Labooty. They have not responded. Dat Tommy Boy, I think we can get. Jerry Jeudy or Parker Washington to pick up. So for waiver options, these are both really good ones. I probably would go Parker Washington first, but I want to grab Jerry Jeudy as a second option. Okay, we do have people responding. TikTok normally doesn't have responders. We've got Pleasant Wind saying pecan. The pecan sounds good. And this place is, let's pull this up. Chicago is a very good pie stand, Bang Bang Pie and Biscuits. The people that started this went off and formed their own separate, another bakery. I'm not sure why they left the pie bakery they founded to go make their own pie spot. Unsure. They also do bagels. Ordered pie and flowers. So it's very good. These are very good pies. Unspoken Legends pecan pie is honestly the only form that I enjoy pecans. Maple pecan from Adam Flint says to the moon. These are all good options. Eric Anders says, can I get your thoughts on a trade I just made in fantasy? Absolutely. Yeah, put it in the chat, Eric. And then I think we're about 8 or 10 messages behind yours and we will get to it. That's not long. Cam Remley, thoughts on Bijan for Achane and Worthy? I could send Achane and Worthy for Bijan. Sure. they're very close, and I don't know that Worthy's that different. Like, if I don't think we're giving up that much to move up a little bit. I don't know that they're that far apart from each other. Okay, John G. Let's see. We went into pie talk. Okay, Unspoken Legends. How do you feel about my waiver wire pickups? Burrow for Krosky Barrett? Great. Baltimore for Chargers? I haven't looked at the matchups, but I bet it's fine. Baltimore defense has been good. Who are they playing? Big boy? Cleveland? Yeah, I'm all right with that. And then what was the other one? Trey Benson for Bucks kicker. Yeah, I don't need a kicker. Dominic, who do you have for your top 10 wide receivers and running backs rest of season? I have a rest of season rank. I just do the weekly ones. T-Bonger 89. Hope the day is going good. Odunze or Barkley at flex? Probably Barkley for me. It will likely be Barkley. I'll finish the ranks today, T-Bonger, and the video will drop tomorrow, but it's probably going to end up being Barkley ahead. John G. Charleston, trying to do a 2-for-1 trade. Watch the video. It's tough because I have a lot of guys moving like Debo, Shakir, Marks, or Henderson together in some form for a back-end wide receiver 2. Okay, I'm not sure who I can package for a clear upgrade. Shakir is fine. I mean, Shakir and Debo will probably get you a better wide receiver. Someone might send you Waddle for Debo and Shakir, or Shakir and Marks. But if you have all of these guys, like moving guys like Debo, Shakir, and Marks or Henderson, and we're picking them for week like flex wide receiver 2 RB2s, like let's just get to one better option. Yes, Scuba Steve saying best advice would be to start with those smaller upgrades and continue to up tier. It's much harder to hit a massive gain in one trade. Yeah, just keep getting small value wins and ramping them up. EMN, thoughts on trading away Dowdle? I'm worried about his playoff schedule. I don't worry a ton about playoff schedules, but thoughts on trading away Dowdle? I'm always trying to trade every player I have, EMN. So just keep going with shopping, like see what you can get. Someone might offer you a ton for Dowdle. Some people have been really, really high on him. The best way to win in fantasy is just to keep tracking what people would give you for your players or what they would need to move their players. All right, we are almost to you, Eric. Eric Anderson, so I traded, we are to you. So I traded Stafford and Ted McMillan for Jaylen Warren. I think that's fine. Stafford, very little value in a 1-quarterback league. Like he's good, he's startable, but there's just a ton of good startable options. And Ted McMillan for Jaylen Warren. It's possible you could have gotten another piece back, but I don't think this is wild. All right, Dominic says you got it right. Nobody usually gets my last name right. I've tried trying to get him right. Dominic Labuti. Eric Anders, I don't think I won the trade, but I needed consistent flex that I'm comfortable starting each week. You already have Lamar and plenty of receivers. In that way, you're fine, Eric. Lamar's been through his bye week. You don't need a second quarterback, and you did get a slight upgrade, sort of. Like, I like Ted McMillan. I don't. So in that way, like, I think he has better days ahead. But the concept of being open to trade a second quarterback is what you should be looking to do. You don't feel comfortable rotating Tet and Metcalf at flex once Bucky comes back and White goes to your bench? Sure. I mean, you could also trade DK and instead of rotating, just trade DK and Jaylen Warren for a better running back and then have a locked in flex. Chris Bliss, Chase Brown, Aaron Jones, Rome for Kelsey Abuka and Ken Walker. Need help with the tight end position. Okay, would I trade Chase Brown, Aaron Jones, and Rome? So we're sending three solid options, 3 guys that could start each week for Kelsey, Abuka, and Ken Walker. Need help at tight end. Okay, so we're just picking up Kelsey. Let's think. I don't think I like it. So, I mean, we could say Chase Brown getting close to Abuka. It's not. Or even if we said like Chase Brown and Aaron Jones, we're getting up there. It's not crazy for Abuka, but then Rome for Kelsey and Ken Walker. That's a thumb or downer. So I would look to get a tight end in another way, Chris. OBX Cody, would you do Zay Flowers and Brees Hall? Or would you do Zay Flowers and Brees Hall or do AJ Brown and Judkins for Jamar Chase? Would I send Brees and Flowers for Jamar Chase? Yes. Would I send AJ Brown and Judkins for Jamar Chase? Yeah. Perky Jerky, I have received another offer. Benson for Godwin and Algier. God, I would just stick with Benson. I would just want Benson. Bobber 2, I have 3 elite S tier receivers paired with Chase Brown and Dowdle in a 12-man. Is that enough to get you through the playoffs, or do you need to up tier to a better running back? I mean, if you have more stuff on the bench, like that's a really good start. That's a really good spot. I'm not sure the quarterback, I'm not sure the tight end, but just on paper, there's plenty of teams that have 3 great wide receivers, 2 good running backs, and you get through. What you doing, lovely Fannin Theo or Hunter Henry rest of season? Theo or Fannin? Theo or Fannin? I think so. Scuba Steve calling out that you can also put your questions in the fantasy football Discord. It's been a minute since I've pitched. You can join our fantasy football Discord if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. You can type !Discord. If you're watching on TikTok, that might be the best way to get a question answered, would be through the Discord. We do cover everything on YouTube and on Twitch. TikTok just doesn't really provide great tools for chat moderation. So we do our best to pop in there and cover stuff as we can, but we do make the commitment that we're basically going to cover every single thing on Twitch and YouTube because there's way less chat spam. Like right now, I see Jack S. Basically, it's always guaranteed if I look at TikTok chat, there will be someone whose name shows up 5 or 6 times on my small screen within the last 10 messages. It just starts to become untenable to read. So Twitch and YouTube, we cover that and we keep that. This just has way better moderation tools. If you are watching and you want to get your question answered off hours, we have our fantasy football Discord. On TikTok, you can just look at your screen. Here is the Discord. You can see my mouse moving around. If you just keep looking down below the browser, it'll say fantasy team reviews in the Discord. And then below that is the link to join the Discord. You just punch that into a browser. Once you are in the Discord, we have our team review channel called the Roster Help and Screenshots channel. This is the only channel where you can post a picture of your team. Some people do post it in, I probably don't have to scroll up that far to see someone that posted their channel, their thing in the welcome message screen. We're probably not gonna get to that. So you can post that in the Roster Help and Screenshots channel, and then we open up a thread. In order to access that, we've got the member role info that describes the needed roles you would need. So I think that covers Sanchismo. How can I get you to review my team? That is where we do it. That is where we do it. YY Cree typed !Discord. It popped up. Eric Anders, I see the newest message. We will get to it. We're just going to jump in order. Ginger Season, do you rate my teams? We do. We do. Bobber 2, only issue is I have no value on my bench to package with one of my starting running backs. That happens sometimes. There's always going to be players that continue to pop up. So sometimes the answer, Bobber 2, if you have a great starting lineup and you're saying, man, I don't have any depth on my bench, especially as we're getting later in the season, like rookies will start getting a shot and being okay. There's always the chance that there are going to be more injuries. Like more startable players will pop up and you grab them on waivers and drop those bench guys. So I want the elite starting lineup knowing that there's going to be more starters that appear out of the ether. Alrighty, Eric Anders. I don't mind that. Eric, I think this is the first day you've joined. And typically I try to be extra helpful on first times. Jordan Schwab, first time Rose gifter as well. We'll jump and we'll find some questions from Jordan Schwab. I know we've covered a couple. We'll keep coming back to him. But just looking at TikTok, TY smiley face. We're going to put that on a mute for the rest of the live. It's only his question. And then a message from Jordan. Jordan says, thanks for all the help. Sure thing, man. Sure thing. If you had another question, throw it in there. We just put Ty smiley face on the mute on TikTok. It's just a bit of a rough one. Oh, there's D-Sal. Trade Genty, Devontae, and Gadsden. We try to call out anything from D-Sal. It's just harder here. Okay, Genty, Devonta Smith, and Gadsden for Bijan and Franklin. Yeah, I think Bijan and Franklin could be it. I mean, I want Bijan. Would I move Genty and Devonta for Bijan? Sure. And then would I move Gadsden for Franklin? That seems fine. Yeah. Juan Golfer on TikTok, Chase and Jones. So Jamar Chase and Aaron Jones for Kyron Williams and Henry? No. No, I would stay with Jamar Chase and try to get a running back in a different way. Jordan, this sounds like someone saw you needed a running back and is trying to help you, thinking of what your team needs. when you should be the one sending out offers. Jordan on TikTok, need a wide receiver. Have Achane, Saquon, Benson, Omari, and who should I move? Last one, I swear. I mean, see if you can move Benson for a wide receiver. I don't know that you need a wide receiver. Could you grab Parker Washington on waivers and plug him in? That could be usable. I'd be throwing Jerry Jeudy on my bench to see if that keeps going, if he keeps doing all right. People might sell low on Wan'Dale Robinson, and he's startable. If someone's panicked on Quentin Johnston, you can get him for super cheap. We're looking at stuff like that. Okay. Lou to Goat, who's better in the playoffs, Dak or Baker? I don't think that way or think that far ahead. I don't know that we're actually gaining that big of an edge when we try to do that. Sanchismo, we covered. Lou to Goat, someone is offering Waddle and Dak. Waddle for Dak and Lad. I would rather have Lad and Dak. I would rather have Lad than Waddle, I think. EMN, I have Chase, London, Rice, and Rice. Thoughts on trading one of my wide receivers for Kittle? You have Chase, London, Rice, Lad, and Rice in a tight end premium league. Thoughts on trading someone for Kittle? I mean, yeah, possibly. I don't know what tight end you have. Eric Anders, one more from me. What do you think of this lineup for the fantasy playoffs? Lamar, Rice, T. Okay, solid. Achane, Judkins. We're looking all right. Jalen Warren at the flex. Gadsden that we might not have. And then you lost Neighbors on the year. I think it's a good turnaround for losing Neighbors. We'll see what the health issue is with Gadsden, and that's going to make the difference. So we hope that he's all right. We got a follower from Hussa JV on Twitch. Thank you very much. They asked, someone offered me James Cook and Pickens for CMC. I could. I am trying to do a lot of consolidating. So I'm not always looking to bring in 2 for 1. But that is getting to the point where I would have to consider it. So look at your team. That's where it's going to really make a difference. Jordan Schwab, did I miss a question from you? If you shoot it through again, it might put you, like TikTok does give a separate feed that gifting messages go to, but it also just puts in all of the people who joined. And I don't think people just want to be called out for joining. Some people like that, but I think most people want to be able to watch without feeling like I'm staring right at them. Cheeto Torres with the roses. I did have your message pulled up here. Would I start Aaron Jones, Vidal, Chase Brown, and bench Addison, or which running back would I sit for Addison? If I sat one for Addison, it would probably be Aaron Jones, but I don't know that I am. Who do they play? Jordan Addison. They play the Bears this week, so it might just be Addison for me. Eric Anders, we covered. EMN. You also have Judy and Ridley. I think this was about a tight end question. I don't know what tight end you have. Adam Flynn, I'm 4 and 6. Got Bijan, Henry, Kyron, and Judkins. Who should I move to upgrade a wide receiver for lads by next week? I don't get to pick, Adam. And you don't actually get to pick. Here's the thing. If you have a problem that you need to solve and you want to make a trade, get more flexible, Adam. You have Bijan, Henry, Kyron, and Judkins. I really like Kyron. What I've heard from people on the live stream is that people are panicked on Kyron. So you need to go. So there's a mismatch. I could get Kyron for cheap in leagues. You need to go find out who you could get for cheap, or who loves Derrick Henry, or who loves Judkins. You got to be tracking who in your league likes what players. I would be taking any of those Henry, Bijan, Kyron, Judkins and pairing them with a wide receiver to do some sort of up tier. I've got a video on how I do up tier trades, 2 for 1s. That's available on YouTube. Here's how I build targets. But I don't focus as much on I can only sell the guy I want to sell and I could only get the guy I want to get. I think as long as the values line up, we're close enough in rest of season rankings that a 2 for 1 trade is just almost always in your favor. Thoughts on who I can get for Garrett Wilson, if anything, from Arturo Delgado? Not much. Check in. That's a very specific one that would be based on who's in your league and who's in line to make the playoffs. I've got a team where I'm pretty much a lock to get into the playoffs. Like I might trade for Garrett Wilson and I would give you something pretty cheap, like a cheaper running back for him. But you got to go to the teams that are playoff locks and see if they want to get stronger for the playoffs by getting weaker right now. That's the first thing I would look at. Unspoken Legends, can we also normalize when we put teams in the roster help channel to say how many teams it is scoring? I want to give more advice when I can't, but full PPR and non PPR makes a difference. Unspoken Legends. Uh, just try it like answering dynasty questions when I'm right there with you. Can we normalize it? It would be cool. But oh, we have unusual joint activity. Mark is resolved. Increase activity. We're good. That makes sense to me. I don't think that we'll ever get that. Something I've learned from answering questions like this that I've kind of just I don't bother to answer Unspoken Legends unless it sounds like someone is in an 8-man league, then I guess. Otherwise, I assume everyone's in a 12-team league, and then I respond that way. All of my trade value videos are based on 12-team league trades. Anything that I show here, I always set it to 12 teams because I think that's the most common. But unless someone specifies, and I would tailor things to anyone who did specify, I just assume it's 12-team with some form of PPR. Santi, would you trade Theo Johnson and Aaron Jones for Justin Herbert and Kincaid? The quarterback's Caleb Williams. I'm probably just sticking with Caleb Williams. I don't really want to send Theo Johnson. I mean, Theo Johnson and Aaron Jones, we're not paying much for Justin Herbert and Kincaid, so sure. Yeah, that actually seems fine. I don't know when Kincaid is coming back, but we're not trading much, and we're getting Justin. I feel like you're getting Justin Herbert a little cheap there. Ginge season. I'm in a 10-man PPR. I have Lamar, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar, CD Schultz, AJ Brown. This is just the team. Travis GG, who would you rather have rest of season, CeeDee Lamb or Rashee Rice? I wouldn't worry about it. I don't really think of like, oh, I got to pick which one I have rest of season. If I just have one, I'm happy. If I had to pick, I guess I would default to CeeDee Lamb, but I wouldn't feel like anyone who chose Rashee Rice was wrong. I kind of just put guys into a tier and like now I have an amazing tier wide receiver. Check. I don't care which name I write in. I just write in a check mark. Logan George, I'm outstanding at every position, but wide receiver in a 12-man PPR. It's BTJ, Addison, and Trey Tucker good enough for your wide receivers? It's not amazing. It's not amazing, but you are at the spot where if you trade well, you can get really good value based on the trades. Like, what would it take to get Parker Washington? If he's great, he's probably super cheap. Rashid Shaheed is cheap if you're playing matchups well. Like you can fill in the blanks for cheap there. Lags. I'm 1-9. Guy offered me Troy Franklin, Wandale, and Bucky. I'd be trading away Vidal in London. Should I do it? No. No, I wouldn't move London for that package. Milan, I traded Tet and DK. DC, I see the roses coming through. And then we got Renee. We'll get to Renee. Where was I? Milan, I traded Tet and DK for Marvin Kamara. Kamara's a great rest of season schedule. Maybe he's a flex play. Possibly. I mean, I think I like the value of Tet and DK a little bit more. But yeah, Kamara could be good. I think I still believe some in Kamara. Renee RJ was really worried about AJ Brown getting 30 when I asked you yesterday. I think what did he get? Under 4? I think you get the win on that one. Cody Avila, long shot, but any kind of trade value I can get for BTJ and Garrett Wilson. It's what we have. I mean, with this one, you got to wait. Probably have to wait a day. But here's the video of what we have. It's called Steal This Trade Tip to Win Your Fantasy Football League. It is also available in our Discord, but it's on YouTube. It's the same name, same thing as on TikTok or on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, you can scroll down and there's a button to click for YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, guess what? You're already on YouTube. You can check out the profile there. And we have this video, my ultimate trade tips. It's what you're asking. You have 2 players. You want to know what you could get for them, Cody. And for that one, I would say you do got to wait a little bit because of the values on the site that I recommend, Fantasy Calc. It's based on real trades. So we just need real trades involving Garrett Wilson to happen. So in the meantime, I'll show you as of today, 11/11, these are real things people have gotten for Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Trey Benson, and Tez Johnson. Where are we? C-Dog, my current wide receivers after injuries are Addison, Trey Tucker, Slayton, and Terry McLaurin running backs. What do I What move do I make for a wide receiver? C-Dog, we do that stuff as team reviews in our Discord. You can post your roster in the roster help and screenshots channel to get more specific. I want to list my team and say, what do I do? With what you asked, like you have Saquon, Dowdle, Chase Brown, Aaron Jones. I mean, could you just move? If you have Dowdle and Chase Brown, couldn't you just move Saquon for a running back or a wide receiver straight up, like Justin Jefferson or better? Could you move Saquon for Lamb? It's possible. I would look at something like that. If we're just doing a straight swap to get a better, then you would just start Lamb and Addison and push Trey Tucker, Slayton, and McLaurin down the lineup. Lag, I have CD and Tet. I have CD and Tet and Dobbs, but Etienne and Vidal are my only serviceable running backs. That's okay. I mean, Etienne and Vidal are okay. You have CD, Tet, and Dobbs. I don't know that we're making a big change there unless you took got another wide receiver somewhere else and then traded Tet and Vidal for a much better running back. Scuba Steve, Otten over Loveland this week. I know you haven't done rankings yet. Just want to all my Bears correspondent. Probably Otten. Is this matchup right? Do I have the matchups right? Do the Bucks play the Bills? The Bills haven't allowed points to tight ends. Bills have allowed the fewest points to tight ends. I don't know who they've played. Like here, Atlanta was at 31 before playing Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren was fine. So I don't heavily favor this stuff. And it might just be Otten over Loveland this week, but I'm not sure yet. They're going to be close. Woody or Judkins this week from Nike Rise. I think I'm going Judkins. EMN, my bad. I forgot to add. I lost Kraft and picked up Loveland. All right, EMN. I don't recognize the name. So, and I haven't said this in a minute. I don't remember anything anyone asks. Almost nothing. So if it's, I forgot to mention this, I've already forgotten what, for everything you forget, I've forgotten everything. So what is the context of this question? Oh, trade some, I've scrolled up and found your name, and I'm only doing this because I think it's your first day here. Typically we just say, hey, resend it. So I can just read it and process it at once. You have a bunch of players. You're looking for a tight end. You have Judy and Ridley, and you picked up Loveland after losing Kraft, I think. Loveland is okay. Loveland is okay. I'm not making a big move to get Kittle. If you just have Loveland, that's probably fine. You could also look at what does Ertz cost? Jason the Raccoon, Jefferson and Breeze for London and Judkins. I think I'm staying with Jefferson there. That's close, but I think I just want the better option. And I think that's Jefferson. Sean Shaw. I've got a really stacked team that I feel I need to dish. And Mecca, Judkins, Higgins are your movables. Chase, St. Brown, Gibbs, and Bijan are staying. Okay. We're just shared. We're just feel like I'm sounding meaner than I mean to. If we're just sharing, that's fun. Sports Spotlight. My team is pretty stacked. For my 12-man, should I trade away Sam Darnold and Tet for Lamar? Yeah. Yes. You already have Puka. I mean, you wouldn't even need Puka. Would I trade Sam Darnold and Tet for Lamar? I don't really care who's on my team. It could be a team of only Sam Darnold and Tet, and I would trade him for Lamar. I think the value is just better on the Lamar side. If you wanted to trade Lamar for a wide receiver, you'd probably then just get a better wide receiver than you would ever get sending Darnold and Tet. Jason the Raccoon, Jefferson, and we covered that one. Jason the Raccoon, we do get to each of these. Zoots, afternoon, would you do Jonathan Taylor and Stafford? Would I do Taylor and Stafford? My brain's shorting out. Taylor and Stafford for Hall, London, Higgins. The guy needs a quarterback bad. Would I send Jonathan Taylor and Stafford to get Brees Hall, London, and Higgins? I could. Don't we just want Jonathan Taylor? And if this guy needs a quarterback so bad, why are we including the best player, the number one player to help him? Why aren't we sending Stafford and one of your receivers for London? That's kind of my thoughts on that one. Why, if we're trying to help someone, why do we have to send out the best player in redraft right now? Yeah, Gay, I mean, the value's not bad. Hall, London, Higgins. I think I would just try to do something else. Like, I think we're bending a little bit too much if we're trying to help someone. Spotlight redraft for me. I've already forgotten what we're talking about. Gabriel, start Stafford or Mahomes and DeMarcado or Singletary. It might end up being DeMarcado there. I don't know what's happening with the Giants. And then Stafford or Mahomes, it could end up. I mean, they're both in tough matchups, so I might go with Mahomes. And that doesn't seem, they're going to be really close. I'm not positive yet, Gabriel. I mean, you're checking in most days. We'll finalize our ranks before tomorrow. But I'm not sure yet. I'm outstanding at every position, Logan George. We covered that one. See, silly. I just traded traded 4 Brock Bowers in a redraft. Already have Ferg. Surely they'll right the ship in Vegas, no? I mean, yeah, I think so. But if you already had Ferg, I don't know. Like, I probably would have wanted to trade Ferg away. Sanchismo, should I worry about Krosky Merritt? I think it's past that. I don't know that he's doing much going forward. Lag, I have Hampton on IR. It's a 10-man league. Top 8 make the playoffs. Guy in 8th is 3-7, so I feel like I could win in the playoffs if I make it with my current team. Oh, and you're 1-9? Yeah, get in there. YY Cree, should I trade Jefferson and Genty for Waddle and Cook? No, I don't think so. Unspoken Legends, this 12-team sleeper league I'm in is so broken. I won 202-30 because of auto drafting. 202-30 seems odd. Should I trade away Jefferson? Oh, we covered that one. I agree. 1 Walling. Huge trade. Love it. Traded Bijan Shaheed Tet. Okay. For Chase and Judkins. So it's just kind of like Shaheed and Tet for Judkins. Okay. Arturo. Thanks for the reply about Garrett Wilson. I have Nakua and Odunze with Parker at flex. Parker Washington. You have Olave, Butte, Shaheed on the bench with Nakua also injury prone. I'm glad I picked up some depth. I think you're all right. Hooligan, David Montgomery and Rasheed Rice. For Ibuka and Dowdle. Yeah, I could do that. That one I could move from Montgomery to Dowdle. One Welling, huge Bengals fan, so I needed that boy. Jamar Chase, yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that's part of it. It's okay if you want to get a player on your favorite team at a decent price. Nike Rise, we cover Woody or DK at flex. Oh, that could end up being Woody. I might, and in a lot of situations, I would probably still go DK Metcalf, especially against the Bears. So I think that's where I'll end up this week. MS trade away K9 and JMO for ETN or Jalen Warren. Sure. Yeah. That's fine for me. Log Bomb 1, Bijan or Achane rest of season. I think I'm still Bijan. There was a time last season when people thought Achane was better, and then it sorted out and Bijan finished ahead. An early video that I did, 5 or 6 months ago, I said Achane was really good, and I had made a trade for Achane in Dynasty, and it took off because people hated it. There was other parts of the trade. It wasn't just that I valued Achane high, but now that people are saying Bijan or Achane, I do feel a little bit justified for saying, hey guys, Achane's pretty good and he's a little undervalued. That was in the offseason. Rest of season, I would still lean towards Bijan. Abraham, should I trade away Olave for Warren? If not, what other players could I target while getting rid of Olave? For Jalen Warren, that's fine. I think that's fine. Like, if that went through in a league I was in, I would immediately forget it and think nothing of it. That's just, yep, done. If they want to do it, sure. On either side, the values are just pretty even for me. Hooligan, David Montgomery, and Rasheed Rice. I think we covered that one. Buckets for life, start Henderson over Judkins. It could end up that way. We'll track the injury report. We'll probably get more news quicker because it's a Thursday night game. Like, we might already have something from Ramondre. I just want to know if Ramondre's out for Thursday. Estimated as limited on Monday. That's right. So they do a team's estimated practice report. They estimate as limited, which he might still be out. We'll track what comes up today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Texas Tejano, I want to trade Flacco, Tez, and Aaron Jones together as a package for a high-end wide receiver or running back. Is it possible? I mean, how high-end? Not very high-end. but you could get something. More likely getting like two two things. Could you get Waddle for that depending on your on your league? Possibly. Could you get up to Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, Olave, Tet, kind of that range? Top hit cards and collectibles. Man, I wish I was ripping card packs. Just sitting here talking about Pokemons and ripping Mons. Big trade question for you. Amon-Ra for Javonte Williams, Roma Dunze, and George Pickens. I don't know that I am. That is a big three. That's one where it comes down to the team. What is the team that you have that moving Amon-Ra is the best option? Or in a lot of situations, I don't know that I want to move Amon-Ra to pick up Williams, Odunze, and Pickens. Like that's three good players. I I think it's quite a bit that you're getting. There's definitely a team, like, if you had lost a lot of players where you could make that split and then do other trades to come out ahead. But if you can't take Javonte Williams, Odunze, and Pickens and pair them with other players and tier back up into top tier options like Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, London, Rashee Rice, then I'm not sure that I want to. Tyler, I have a trade for you I accepted. We'll try to find it, Tyler. We'll try to find it. Gavin, do I trust Franklin this week? I think so. I think a little bit. I don't know exactly where he's going to end up in the ranks. We drop ranks Wednesday morning on YouTube. So those will be out. Once we wrap up the live stream today at 2, I'll do the final prep and do final rankings. Camden's back. Says, what's up, Jack? I traded Zay Flowers for Trevion Henderson. Didn't have a third running back. You don't need one. Camden, thoughts? Also thinking about trading Odunze and Tez for Waddle and possibly more. I don't know that I'm as high on Waddle as everyone. Wide receiver 12 listed here. And Odunze at 20. I don't view them as that far apart. Maybe I'm just slow on Waddle. Guys, I'm not amazing at this. 20, 14, 19. We're looking all right on Waddle. He's wide receiver 11 on the year. Things have gotten better. I don't want to add a ton to Odunze to get up to Waddle. I'll say, yeah, he's been better, but I think there's better games coming for Odunze. Which side would I prefer? So if I traded Zay Flowers for Henderson, I think we're all right there. I'll add in a bit more context. I don't know that you need 3 running backs. I mean, there's definitely plenty of times when I get to the end of the season and I'm down to 2 running backs that have gotten through their bye, and then maybe I grab a handcuff for them to get through the playoffs. Okay, why Cree, should I trade Jefferson for Ibuka? I'm okay holding Jefferson. QT Snizzy, how's it going? What's up, Snizzy? Sitting at 7-3. I like it. With Cook, Swift, Judkins running back core. Do I try to upgrade to a true running back 1? Like, yeah. I don't know how much stuff is on your bench that you can move. We see a pretty wide range. Snizzy, we do team reviews in the Discord, and I see a pretty wide range. Some people have a lot of guys on the bench that should all be packaged and sent away for up tiers. Some don't have any. So there's a good chance like you should be packaging those 3 running backs you have with wide receivers on your bench to get better players. Naruto, I got a question for you. On week 14, I got both my quarterbacks on bye. Dart and Purdy. Should I remove Purdy for Stafford? Yeah. I mean, you should remove Purdy for Stafford anyway. Unspoken Legends, Achane has been really efficient this year. He's so smooth with it. He's gotten in more into the passing game, which helps a lot. Hey, I've been high on Achane all off season. Is my AC running? I'm cold. Travis got offered James Cook or Kyron and Jefferson for Puka. Should I do this? Starting running backs are Gibbs and Barkley. Possibly. No, that's the heat coming through and it just feels cold. The heat is running. Okay, Travis, you got offered James Cook or Kyron and Jefferson for Puka. I probably would. I probably would take Jefferson and a running back if I have Puka. My running back right now is Gibbs, Barkley, wide receiver. Wait, but you already have Gibbs and Barkley, Puka, Rashee, and Sutton, AJ Brown. Like, then maybe not. The only thing I would say is I just want to keep combining to these top assets. And Jefferson is close up there. So unless you're able to then take James Cook and Kyron, or James Cook or Kyron and Jefferson, and then go get another top asset, that's the main goal. So if this trade doesn't make your starting lineup better, then I don't think so. Log bomb. Should I trade away Brees and Sharp for Bucky and Rashad? Mm. You have Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. Like, sure, you're 8-2, so you're just looking towards the playoffs. Okay, that makes sense. Bring in Bucky and Rashad. Rashad fills in for Bucky until Bucky's back. And then when he's back, he's starting over Brees and Charbonnet with Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. That makes sense. Arturo said current team and then didn't send a message. Easy dubs. Would you trade DK for Pittman? Sure. Yeah, I would take. I think I still would take Pittman. Naruto, I got a question. We covered this. Perky Jerky. Trade T. Higgins and Alec Pierce for Chase Brown? Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Myers or Franklin this week? Probably Franklin, buckets for life, but I'm not sure yet. Gabriel, I'm about to overpay for Rasheed and give away unneeded depth. Do you think I'll be good to just use Gadsden at flex rest of year? Is Gadsden hurt? Diagnosed with bruised quad, considered day to day. I would just double check that you have some other flex if he misses. But Gadsden as the tier of player at flex, it's not insane. See what else, like what other player you could get, because Gadsden is questionable day to day. I don't feel confident that he's going. Julius Steezer, I have Daniel Jones on bye this week. Would you pick up Flacco or Rodgers to fill in at quarterback? Flacco. Rodgers against the Bengals feels right to me, but the last game was rough. Do I have it wrong? I do have it wrong. Rodgers against the Bengals does seem, I would take Flacco. Thomas sending coins. Nate sending roses. That's the noise that's been coming through. D-Sal dropping roses. Thank you, D-Sal. Nate dropping high bears. What's up, Nate? Have I seen one from Nate? See a high bear from Nate? I haven't seen a question. Jack, let me find them. Is what he says. I have some crazy trade offers I received. Let me find them. Shoot them over. We'll do what we can. I'll try to catch them as I see them. I think Nate has the ability to pin his. Yeah, Gabriel, I think I'm in general okay with overpaying for Rishi. If it's combining stuff into your lineup. Once we start getting into Gadsden at the flex, maybe we slow down on the overpaying. That would be the break point. Julius Steezer, we covered that one. Barely Bat. Hope your week is going great. It is. What is it? It's Tuesday? It's Tuesday. We're doing great. Kids home from school. We might play some Fortnite later. AP12, do you favor a running back or wide receiver in the flex or no preference? No preference. I don't really have a preference. Colin Rooney, AJ Brown, or Smith rest of season? Maybe Smith. Maybe Smith. QT Snizzy, do you think Swift and Olave is an overpay for Chase Brown? A little. I don't think it's insane. I could definitely do it, depending on my team. Lag, should I try and trade Tet and Vidal for Genty? You could, yeah. I don't think that's too much. Gabriel Leonard, I have Pierce as well, so I'd be fine. Oh, sure. Arturo, thoughts on this team and any upgrades? Arturo, we do this question. Thoughts on our team and upgrades in our roster help and screenshots. So we get 5 or 6 of these a day. They're tied to Twitch subscriptions or Discord server subscriptions. We don't do them on the live stream. Dat Tommy Boy, Vidal, Manungai, or Hall this week? Probably. I'll probably end up with Brees Hall. It'll be close. Brees Hall playing the Patriots or Vidal playing who the Chargers play, Jacksonville. So like it might end up being Vidal. I don't like the state of the Jets without Garrett Wilson. And then it's a tough matchup on Thursday against New England for running backs. So that might be something that gets Vidal ahead there. Buckets for life. Do I add Jennings and Pierce for Judkins? Do I add Jennings and Pierce for Judkins if I have 5 running backs? Would I trade away Judkins for Jennings and Pierce? I'll tell you, I'd just drop Judkins first before I ever did something like that. I don't know that I want to add in Juwan Jennings and Pierce for Judkins. I would if you have 5 running backs, you should be the one sending 2 players and getting 1 rather than splitting them for 2 kind of nothing, kind of wide receiver 3s. Cheeto Torres, who would you start from these 4? I need 3. Addison, Vidal, Chase Brown, Aaron Jones. I think we went over that. It's probably going to be Addison, Chase Brown, Vidal. But we'll know more tomorrow. I'll have final ones tomorrow. All right, Nate, 1 quarterback league. Someone wants McCaffrey for Joe Flacco. They want to give you Joe Flacco for McCaffrey? We're not doing that one. We're not doing that one. Seeps, do you think Bo Nix is a start this week? Yeah, probably. I have him roughly penciled in. He's like 12, 13, 14 right now. We'll drop full position ranks tomorrow. HECI, Hesse, I traded Cook, Waddle, Olave for Jamar Chase and Jalen Warren. You traded James Cook, Jalen Waddle, Olave for Jamar Chase and Jalen Warren. Yeah, I think I like Jamar Chase side. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. I like the Jamar Chase side. Nate, you told him you're not close. He sent McCaffrey and just JJ McCarthy. McCaffrey and JJ McCarthy and Vidal for Lamar. Okay. He sent you would give up McCaffrey and JJ McCarthy and Vidal for Lamar? We're getting closer in a dynasty. Possibly for Lamar. Or is that Justin Jefferson? That's Justin Jefferson. No chance. Oh, yeah. Jefferson, no chance. Yeah, okay. I figured you said these were crazy ones. Let's see. Fuji X Shooter, subscribe with Prime. And we missed it 1 minute ago. Thank you, Fuji X Shooter 951. Make sure that you set up your Discord and Twitch subscription together. So what we have here, here's how Discord looks on a desktop. I'm not exactly sure where this is on your phone, but we have the user settings right here. This is what you're looking for. It would be in the bottom left on your computer. On your phone, it would just be called user settings somewhere else. You click that gear, and then you want connections. User settings, connections. This is also Googleable. And then it'll say add connections to your profile. So here's like PayPal, Reddit. Twitch will be up here. It's not up here for me because my Twitch is already connected. And then once it has detected that, it'll instantly know that you are subscribed on Twitch to my Twitch, and then it'll change your name to Red and Blue. And then you'll have access to post team reviews in the roster help and screenshots channel. Nate, these are so silly. I get these constantly. I don't know what to do with that. I usually don't waste my time. Usually it just means that the player, like, they're interested in a player, and you can get, sometimes the guy's just a D-bag and they're just shooting low, but a lot of the times it's just like someone's trying to gauge if you're even willing to move them. And then I have done some where I wound up getting they sent over a garbage offer, and then we eventually worked something out, and I think I came out ahead with a better offer. It just means they don't know how to trade. Lag, would I trade Tet and Vidal for Genti? Yeah, I think so. I think I would do the flip there. Okay, Freezy sold Quan and Javante. Who's Quan? Saquon and Javante, or Gibbs and Judkins? Gibbs and Judkins. My dog? Is my dog coming through? Goosey, come here. Come here. What are you freaking out about? She's just howling on the bed. MJMIT. Would I trade away T. Higgins if I could get Flowers? I don't think so. I think I might have T. Higgins ahead. Or at best, they would just be like similar value for me. So I'm not going to do a lot of like one player at one position for another player at the same tier at the same position. Texas Tejano, is Flacco, Aaron Jones, and Tez package enough to get Judkins? It could be. Someone might do that. I wouldn't. All right, Big Meech 27 says, I have a question if I may. That's the whole game. Just pop it in. Pop it in. All right, Perky Jerky, you're at the top of the screen. We're going to work our way down, and then we'll get back to whoever, Big Meech. Okay, Real Slim and then Perky Jerky. Should I trade away Judkins, Tet, and ETN for Saquon? I have the depth to do it. I think you should get another thing back. That guy's going to be dropping 2 players to take on that trade. So something in there probably makes it more even in the dropped players. Perky Jerky, I trade T. Higgins and Alec Pierce for Chase Brown. I don't think that's horrible to get Chase Brown there. They're pretty close. Like Alec Pierce is just kind of a toss in to do the position swap. I think that's fine. GC123, I have Bucky and got offered Judkins and Wandale. Should I do that? You could. You could. Like if you needed players immediately, that's not insane. John G. Charleston, is McBride, Debo, and Marks for Gibbs and BTJ too much? Trey McBride, Debo, and Marks, I don't think it's too much. To add Debo, I mean, BTJ and Marks, we could, like, I think I'd rather have BTJ, but even if we just cross that off, would I trade McBride and Debo to get to Gibbs? I could, if I had another tight end. T-Bonger, I had to go before I could hear you. What'd you say about Odunze or Barkley in the flex? I'll probably have Odunze, or I'll probably have Barkley ahead. Daniel Lara, trade Henderson and Tet McMillan for Ibuka or T. Higgins. I could do it for Ibuka. There's a chance, obviously, that Henderson just takes over and is great, and McMillan starts getting some more touchdowns and that side wins. So you don't have to do it, but I could. Barely Bad, I actually just downloaded Fortnite again and used to play it back in season 1. Whole new game. Glad to hear you're doing well. Just had my highest score in week 179. Nice, nice. My 6-year-old is very into Fortnite. We'll be playing some this afternoon. Bacon Lee, picked up Packers or Falcons defenses? I don't know, man. John G. Charleston, it's tough to gauge because every site has the players I listed with different values, and whether it's too much or too little, then it's like we're just going for an amalgamation. In those situations, I'm usually just trying to do a 2-for-1, and then in that way you come out ahead. Most sites will undervalue a bench spot. Christian Legion Blitz was offered Troy Franklin and Monungai for Nico. Would I send Nico for Troy Franklin and Monungai? I would not. I would just stay with Nico. I like the Nico side of that. Big Meech saying hello. V Kenshin, I'm weak at wide receiver and willing to trade my running back 1. Who should I trade Kyron, Addison, and Njoku for? V Kenshin, we do that on our YouTube video. We have a YouTube video here. You have 3 players that you want to trade away. It looks like you want to get 2. This video covers 2-for-1s, but it's the same concept. It's the same way that I would look at it. So we have that on YouTube. It's just the process that I do. It's what I do in my leagues for sending out trade offers. Colonel Cobb says, hey man, looking to move Bucky Irving so I can try to get to the playoffs and avoid the punishments. Punishments are the worst. What kind of wide receivers would you trade him for given the state of his injury? I don't think you could get Nico Collins for him. Could you get a Buka? Marv seems a little low. Cortland Sutton, you could definitely get. You could probably get Sutton and more, but I don't know how I feel about Sutton. You might just get Odunze or Ladd for him. Those are 1-to-1s. Colonel Cobb says, love the content. Hey, thank you. Big Meech 27. Would I trade Vidal and Hampton for Judkins and Loveland? I could. I don't know that I'm doing it all the time. I could. Like if you need a tight end and you have nothing, that makes it better. Let's see. We had Fujifilm X say connected things. Let's find it. Yep, Fuji X Shooter. You're right there. As long as your name is blue and red, you'll have access. And it'll auto do it. So once you set up the connection, your name will just show up as blue and red. And then it updates in time. So as any sort of subscription runs out, it'll change you back to just the regular white name. V Kenshin, I want to get, oh yeah, we covered that. AP12, should I try to upgrade from Kittle to either McBride or Bowers? Like, yeah, you can. I don't know what else is on your team, but yeah. At this time of the year, I'm trying to upgrade into the best players. Scooby was offered Saquon for my James Cook in an 8-man PPR. What should I do? If you don't, I mean, at this point, Scooby, Like Saquon and James Cook, how far off are they? Which one do you like more? Would I take Saquon for James Cook? Like, I guess if I was drafting right now, would I still take Saquon ahead? I think so. Here's the thing, like we don't know the future, so you don't even have to do it. I don't often, if I have, I don't think I ever send out 1-for-1 same position trades. I don't like to make that type of deal. I try to do like 2-for-1s, 3-for-2s, 2-for-2s, 3-for-3s, stuff like that. I don't do a ton of 1-for-1 running back for running back because they're probably very similarly valued. Story time. Hope you're enjoying the snow. My kid is freaking out every day that there's still snow, saying it's snowing, which is not true because it's not snowing. But we're enjoying it. It's cold. You have the option to acquire Justin Jefferson, Marv, and Jake Ferguson, but you give up Cook, Ibuka or London, and Sutton or Olave. What package would I do? So would I do Jefferson, Marv, and Ferguson for Cook, Ibuka, and Sutton? I could. I mean, if you don't have a tight end and you're just getting a really good one and now you don't have to deal with Hunter Henry anymore, then I could send Cook, Ibuka, and Sutton and do it. Jose, should I start C? Oh, Christian Watson, Lad McConkey, or Judkins for the flex this week, full PPR. I'll probably end up with Lad. Camden, would you trade Odunze for Olave since you didn't know about Waddle? Waddle has a bye and I already have a chance, so that'd be a tough week for me. I mean, Odunze's pretty good. Am I trading Odunze for Olave? Not really. I think I just keep Odunze or I look for something else. Camden, you do a lot of 1-for-1 trades. I don't do a ton of them. All right, Schultz or Otten from Big Ash 22. I think Otten. I think Otten's just a slightly better player. Mickey Mikey, what to do with Hawkinson? You just cry that you got something wrong. Not you. I'm talking about me. I was very high on Hawkinson this year. It has not worked. He probably has an okay game against the Bears this week. He's still in the startup bowl options. I mean, I think JJ McCarthy does get better and he's still good, I think. Real Slim just subscribed on YouTube, on Twitch with Prime. Thank you, Real Slim, for the Prime sub. Thank you, Real Slim, for the Prime sub. Edge, LOL, should I trade Bucky for Nico since it looks like he won't even play this week? Yeah, if you can get that, I think that's a fine deal. I would still have those guys valued. I mean, if they were both healthy, valued similarly. So if you trade an injured guy for someone as though he's not injured, I would like that. I would like that. Alex on TikTok, Dowdle and Adams. Okay, Rico Dowdle, Devontae Adams for McBride and Ibuka. For McBride and Ibuka. Would I trade Adams for Ibuka? Yeah, I would take McBride and Ibuka. If I don't have a tight end, especially, if I'm out there like hoping Loveland is the guy for me, or I'm starting Kyle Pitts or Harold or Hunter Henry is probably the best one, then I would just do that switch. Dowdle and Adams for McBride and Ibuka. I like it. Mengen Luffnut. Trade Lad, Devontae. That's Devontae Adams. Lad, Adams, and Chase Brown for Gibbs and Justin Jefferson. I think I'm taking Gibbs and Justin Jefferson there. I think I'm just going to end up with Gibbs and Jefferson there. I have not crunched the numbers on it, but that feels fine. Passia 10GR, Purple Cross. I just got offered to trade Judkins for Roma, Dunze, and Tet. Accept or decline, you need wide receivers. That seems fine. Judkins to Rome and Tet. If you have running backs, like I think you're getting enough back. The 2 there is enough. Would I send Rome and Tet to? I mean, I feel like I should be able to get Judkins for just Rome. So maybe I'm just high on Rome. I'm in Chicago. Maybe I'm still just high on Rome. He's still the lead option on that offense. So I'm fine with that. I also still like Tet at his current price. I think he still has room to improve this year. We've got Joe Flacco back. What do I do with Bucky? I have Javonte and Cook. You just wait. If you have Javonte Williams and James Cook, they're both through their bye weeks. You just wait for Bucky. Oh, my kid was outside, and that's why the dog was howling. Jonathan 0715. I need a wide receiver. What's better for me, Bijan for Puka or Rashee Rice? Like, who's a better receiver? Probably Puka. Probably Puka. What's up? Just outside in the snow. That's the wife and daughter. All right, 0. Who are your top 3 running backs rest of season? Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, Gibbs, then Achan, Saquon. I think. I don't know that I think that way that much. Like, what's the value edge that I would get from ranking running backs for the rest of season? Like, does that mean I can trade for them? I don't know. Nick Mudd, big game this week for our Bears. How am I feeling about it? All of my in-laws are in Minnesota. We typically go to the Bears at Vikings game. This one's a Sunday nooner. That's not as fun. They've been on Monday nights in the past couple of years, and we've gone. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. It is a big game, and I assume we're going to lose, and then my father-in-law is going to send me something annoying. He's a very nice guy. Easy dubs. Should Rice be in my lineup? Yes. Wide receivers are London, McConkey, and Jefferson at flex. Oh, you got to swap one, easy dubs. You just got to make a trade. You got these guys. If you can't have Rice on your bench, but then the same thing is true for whoever you bench. Say you bench Ladd. You can't have Ladd on your bench. You got to make a trade, easy dubs. You're at the point where you have a really good lineup. You either get a better wide receiver somehow, or you need to be, what's up, kiddo? Or you need to be swapping those for a running back, or sending a running back and one of those for a great running back. What's up? You can go play Mario Party. I'll be doing this until 2, hon. Then maybe we do a little Fortnite. Big Ash, Kate Ottner ride the wave on Musgrave. The Musgrave wave. Was he all right? How good was Musgrave? I think I'll be going with Otten this week over Musgrave. Kermit, Bo, or May. Okay, Bo or May and, oh, okay. Who do I start this week? Bo Nix or Drake May? I would start Drake May. And then who do I start? Tet or Diggs? I'm usually Tet ahead. Samuel Castro, I have a dilemma. Let's solve it. Dart probably doesn't play this week. My other quarterback is Stafford, but my defense is the Seahawks. No, you're fine. There's no dilemma. There's no dilemma. I think you just go for it. If anything, you might swap a different defense, but I think you're fine. Broly 619, I'm on a 4-game streak. Let's go, is what they said. I don't know how often I say let's go, but I feel good. I'm liking it. I like a 4-game win streak. I like a 4-game win streak. Jamar, thoughts on Aaron Jones? He's solid. Let's take a look at, we're not actually going to get that much. I wanted to see like, how's he doing on the year, but it's going to look horrible because he missed so much time. Thoughts on Aaron Jones? Like, this seems normal. This seems, yeah, first couple games back from injury. He's not the lead. I mean, he's the lead guy, but he's not 60 to 75% of snaps. And this week he was. I think they were way down, so they would do some passing. But here, week 1, when he played the full game healthy, he wound up being 50% of snaps with Jordan Mason playing against the Bears. I think he's going to be in that 50% range and be good. Like, he's a starter. He's a startable thing for you. You could put him in your flex. If he was your running back too, you could build a team well around that. So I don't have any problems with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones or Vidal, I might, and based on the matchups, it may be Vidal ahead, where I would just take the lead option. Pyro's Thunder, should I trade Javonte, Ibuka, and Flowers or Odunze for Bijan and Ladd? Yeah. Like, would I trade Javonte, Ibuka, and Flowers for Bijan and Ladd? Yeah, I would. Would I trade Javonte and Flowers for Bijan? Yeah, I would. Or just Javonte and Ibuka for just Bijan. No, I wouldn't do that. Vamos. Do I start Debo over DK? Do I start Debo over DK? I'm not positive yet. It might be DK playing the Bengals that goes ahead. I'll drop game by game full positional rankings tomorrow. And then we do like rankings responses on Tuesdays, but they're usually in pencil. And I'm taking my shots at where the rankings will end up, which also helps make the rankings. So as soon as we go off live here, I'll eat something and then be back at my desk finishing the rankings and then recording the video. Bryce Webster. Oh, we got Dat Tommy. Oh, we got a couple that we missed. Jason Smith, thoughts on the dynasty trade for Gibbs this morning? I like it both ways. I don't know that anyone got a deal. Got full, sent away. What'd you send away? A bunch of firsts and Purdy, and you're doing all right. Yep, Jason, we had Joe on the other side come in earlier, so we went over it. I think it was 226 first to 27 first. And then you get a Baker and a Purdy swap and Gibbs in there. I think we're all right. It feels all right on both sides. Big moves. Michael T. What should I do with Saquon and AJ Brown? I mean, where did Saquon end up? He was playing one of the best run defenses last night. I don't take games like 13 points in a very tough matchup, coming off of 33 and an injury. I think we're okay to hold him. I think we're all right. I don't know that we need to do a ton other than we just start him and know that, hey, maybe we overpaid in the draft. Jason, there's not a ton more to say. I did not do a full breakdown. It feels even on both sides. We're all right. And I didn't go through any of the teams either. We do post these full videos on YouTube for anyone who wanted to catch up on some, but it's really just a lot of questions. At questions Q&A, live Q&A. I assume some people might want to. We don't get a lot of people that watch it, but people did specifically ask that we post the full video afterward. So it goes up live on YouTube. And I think it's also on Twitch, but YouTube is the one that helps me. JVW3, should I start Derrick Henry or Zay Flowers in the flex this week? I'm probably going Derrick Henry there. Camden, would I trade Henry for Saquon? They're going to be similar tier-ish for me. I might give a slight edge to Saquon. But again, Camden, I'm not doing a lot of these one-for-one trades that you're recommending. Broly 619 looks like I'll make the playoffs. Am I wrong to roster 2 quarterbacks and 2 defenses? I don't do it a lot. I would only hold them if I had gotten to the point where I had like maximized my starting lineup, had a handcuff or so on there, and then one other like flex option in case of injuries. And then I'm starting to look at a second defense. Otherwise, I'm still looking to grab guys like, let's see what Jerry Jeudy does in the back half of the year, or because I know he had a lot of targets on Sunday. I'm still looking for players then. AP12, is Odunze and Kittle too much for McBride? Close. If you have Lamb, Rice, Puka already, like there's definitely now times, AP, where I'm just trying to maximize what can be in my starting lineup. If everyone's through bye weeks, I just want the best lineup. Like, let's close out these other weeks. If we can get a bye, try to get one. Otherwise, I'm setting myself up to have the best lineup for the 3 weeks of the playoffs. We're starting towards that now in week 11, and then more and more as the weeks go on, and we're just looking for the playoffs. Let's see. Big Ash 22. I have Waddle, Ladd, Drake London, and Devontae Adams. My running back to is RJ Harvey. What are moves I can make before the deadline? So if the question is just that, Big Ash. So I'm going to say, here's how I answer that. We have our video on YouTube of how to create package deals. I have these 2 players. What one should I target? Which is what I'm hearing for you. You have Ladd, Drake, Adams, and Harvey. Harvey might be good for this week. You probably have another running back, or you have some flex options. Start combining them to get a better running back. So here's the video of how I build trade offers. And then if you still wanted more, Big Ash, then we do team reviews in our Discord. But I will tell you, sometimes the advice is just, here is that video. Here are the players I would send away, and then go. Like, Here's how I would build 10 trade offers. You should send all 10 of those out and you'll be in a good spot if you get any of them to go through. Fuji, can I ask roster questions here? I mean, we'll get to it right after this. We'll stop at around 2. I'll eat and then do ranks and maybe pop in on your review there. Bryce Webster, that's when we cover Dat Tommy Boy. Shakir or Tet McMillan? I think Tet has a hard matchup. Does Tet plays the Falcons? Yeah, that is a tough one. Would I get Shakir that high? I might. Shakir against the Bucks. I think I would still give the edge to a slight edge to Tet. But I wouldn't think you're crazy if you didn't and you went the other way. Disney Charlie, should I do Genty, Tet, and Dak for Bijan and Slayton and still have Herbert? I think I just want it to be something better than Slayton. But let's crunch it. Let's crunch the numbers on it. That's what I mean when I say crunch it. Because I might just be wrong. I might just be seeing Slayton and saying that guy sucks and I should get more. Genty, Tet. I like Tet a little bit more than wide receiver 24. But we're shipping away Dak, who we're not going to use. So we are putting stuff into our lineup for Bijan. Yeah, okay. So looking at it that way, yes, it does favor Bijan. And I was just seeing Slayton and going, ugh. But really, Slayton doesn't even matter in the trade. So yeah. I mean, see if you could get something better than Slayton. But yes, Slayton does not even need to be in this trade. It's just someone they're dropping. They're probably dropping someone else as well. So maybe have that thrown in and make the decision yourself or move those guys in a trade. Buckets for life, keep Shakir and start him again this weekend. Yeah, he's generally a pretty good starter. If you have Shakir and Tet, the best option might just be combine those two and get an even better player. Jonathan, is it time to trade away Bijan or ride it out? I mean, if you're worried about winning games, yeah, I guess you could get rid of Bijan. But no, I'm not getting rid of Bijan. That was a video I did yesterday. I'm not panicked on Bijan Robinson. I would be fine to trade for him right now at market rate. Anthony Richardson, Lamar, or Flacco this week. I don't know that I could get Lamar ahead or Flacco ahead of Lamar. Lamar playing the Browns. Here, it's tough. So each of these games are rematches. Flacco has played the Steelers with the Bengals and he won the game. And there was a fair amount of scoring. Lamar played the Browns and it was 10-3 or something at the half. The Browns were shutting down the Ravens and then they exploded in the second half. Let's find it. We got time. Let's take a look. But the Browns are a very good defense. They played in week 2. Lamar put up 26 points. But if we go to, see, do I have this running? This might be running. Nope, it's not. Oh, that wouldn't have even shown it to me anyway. But I'm having a bit of a brain fart. In week 2, when the Ravens played against Cleveland, they were shut down for a long time and then exploded in the second half. Do they stay shut down? I'm not sure. They're both, and then the opposite side is Flacco looked good against the Steelers last time they played, but the Steelers have looked much better since then. So does what happened already happen again? I'm not sure. And in that situation, I'll just go with the better player, go with Lamar. Archie just did a trade of Cook, Rice, Dak, and Benson for Gibbs, Waddle, and May. Feel pretty good about it. Hey, all right. All righty. Cook, Rice, Dak, and Benson for, you get Gibbs, Waddle, and May. Yeah. Okay. Buckets for life. Appreciate the love to everyone for responding back to their trade and waiver ads. Keep your community growing here. We're growing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Buckets for life for hanging out. Big Ash, do you think Garrett Wilson is going to figure it out? The guy in my league is panicking hard on him. Would I give up Waddle or Ladd in a package with Wilson and someone else? I mean, isn't Garrett Wilson out like 3 weeks? So here's what we have from 21 hours ago. Garrett Wilson expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a knee sprain, the same knee that he had extended. Garrett Wilson is a fine player. He's a very good player. And I think in games with Fields, he can still be fine. But if we're missing week 11, 12, and 13, and then maybe you get him back in week 14 to help you get into the playoffs, like, I don't know that I'm jumping up and down to send Ladd or Waddle for Garrett Wilson. I would I would need to send something way lower. We pulled up Garrett Wilson earlier. Is it still here? I don't think so. Oh, it is. Someone sent Jordan Addison for Garrett Wilson. That seems better. Or I might have if I probably have a playoff team or have had, like, I'm sure someone here has a team that's playoff bound that could move Addison and then just eat the injury until the playoffs for Garrett Wilson. And like that I might do. I think Garrett Wilson's fine. I think he's a really talented player. It's a rough year for injuries, and I'll be right back in on him next year. Real G Savage with a very good question that I don't say enough. Is that fantasy trade calculator trustworthy? What I'll use the trade database. So Real G Savage, this is trustworthy. This is just real trades that have happened. You don't have to agree with them. But when I make videos about real trades that have happened, I'll filter out ones that seem obvious or seem, too big to show a message. Garrett Wilson for Xavier Worthy, like that might be it. It's hard to gauge with someone who's injured, but there are some that I wouldn't include in a video because they're so far off. But everything here is a real trade that happened. So when people post on the video saying no one's doing these trades, like, yeah, they are. They are. And I don't agree with them. I wouldn't do them, but a lot of people play fantasy and a lot of people think about it less than I do. So this part's trustworthy. Trade calculators will start to break down. They don't value going from 3 to 2 or 2 to 1 nearly as highly as they should. So you can get around things like that. And then they start to break down as you're adding in more players or adding in, like we had one deal that it was the 3 for 2, but you were getting like Bijan and Darius Slayton. Like you can just throw Slayton out of most trades like that. They start to break down as you add in more players. And I don't recommend them to people in general. And I don't pull them up very often, maybe only 3 or 4 times on a live stream that I'll enter stuff in there and then I'll talk through the values that it's saying. I do trust the rankings on a site like this as what they are, which is just community rankings. So based on real trades that have happened, this site, Fantasy Calc, will infer player values. So this is what most people think, or this is what the aggregate thinks. They think Jonathan Taylor is the most valuable, then McCaffrey, then Jamar Chase, then Bijan, and you can use that to build trades around it. It doesn't mean people in your league think it. It just means pulled from however many trades they process a day. Over the lifetime of the site, they've hit 5 million. I don't know how many that is a day. These are the values that they come up with. Wardell, do I do Monty for Kittle? If I could move David Montgomery and get Kittle, I would take Kittle. Fuji X Shooter, are we trusting Judy as a flex option rest of season? Not yet. Not yet. If it happened again, I would believe it, or it wouldn't surprise me if Jerry Jeudy he had 19 points, 96% of the snaps, which is a little bit higher than normal, but 12 targets. Here in this game, he had 13 and 10 points. If he's getting double-digit points rest of the way, it wouldn't surprise me. He did the same thing weirdly last year, where down the stretch was excellent, where he was outside the top 40 in the first half, and then I think he was like wide receiver 5 or top 5 in the second half of the year. It would be very fluky, and I wouldn't understand it, but if it's happening again on Baltimore, and I think we should pick up Jeudy and just grab him and see. I don't want to start him, but grab him and see. Justin says, should I give Ken Walker for a 26 first? Yeah, if you still can. I don't know that you would be able to. And I do think his value will go up. So with Ken Walker, I would be surprised if you could get a 26 first for him. But I think I would. And then I think his value goes up in the offseason, but so does a 26 first. So I'll just take the one that for sure goes up. Like there's a very good chance Ken Walker signs somewhere and is expected to be the lead back. Real G Savage, I got Derrick Henry and Devonta Smith for Adams, Chubb, and DeMarcado. That seems like a trade calculator move. Like you traded Devontae Adams, who's good, but then you moved Nick Chubb and DeMarcado and got a real player. Trade calculators don't really know how to handle that sort of stuff. Fuji, we covered. Slay away. Trade ETN, Hurts, and AJ Brown. Trade Travis Etienne, Jalen Hurts, and AJ Brown for Judkins and Devontae Adams. I don't know that it's enough. Like if you have another quarterback, I could take the value loss. If you have another really good quarterback that you've been rolling with that you got for free, slay away, then sure. There's now that we're later in the season, I'm okay, especially with quarterbacks and tight ends when we're moving them. I'm okay taking a little bit of a value loss because they're hard to move. So yeah, I don't think it's a slam dunk win. Like, would I trade Hurts for Devontae Adams? Sure. That seems where we're starting to get into the range. And then ETN and AJ Brown for Judkins. I feel like that's still a bit much. But if that's the only move you have for Hurts, then I'd be okay with it. Dat Tommy boy, Hall or Henderson this week? It might end up being Henderson, but we're gonna know more as the week goes on. Dat Tommy boy, like what's going on with Ramondre? If he's playing, I expect that he would still have a role for the Patriots, and that would change my rankings. All right, Nate, Hurts or Lamar for Devontae Smith in a one quarterback? I don't know. I don't actually know a ton of one quarterback dynasty values. And even those would be tougher because, like, how long does a rushing quarterback last compared to a pocket passer? Like Hurts and Lamar both under 30. If that was Mahomes producing at their level, we'd feel good for another 8 years. But Devonta Smith, he's what, 27? Like, would I move one of those guys for Devonta Smith? I'm not positive I would. I might just stay with the quarterback and then want someone younger in a deal. Ricky, is Justin Jefferson worth a buy? That was the video today, Ricky. So we've been doing typically three trade value videos a day. So today we did Rashee Rice, Trey McBride, and Justin Jefferson, just covering real trades that have happened and what we think about them. So I think he's worth a buy. And you could get an idea of how cheap he is in some of the deals that have happened. Bryson, what do I do with Bucky? Kind of depends on where your team is at. If you can survive holding him, let's hold him. Let me see what I've missed. Vivi, audio was bugging. I was offered Bucky and Odunze for Olave and Kittle. What are my thoughts? I think I'm higher on Odunze than others, but that might just be I love my Chicago Bears. And then Zaddy will cover you as well. Actually, there's a couple that it looks like I need to jump up back to. So covering Vivi, audio is bugging. You got offered Bucky and Odunze for Olave and Kittle. Like I could. Do you have another tight end? Are you okay without Kittle? That's going to start being some of the difference there. All right, we covered Fuji. We covered Slay Away. Scoop Fresh. Would I trade Vidal and Hampton for Bucky? I trade Vidal and Hampton for Bucky. I could. Isn't are Hampton and Bucky that far off if they're both healthy? I might just stay with the one where I have a player now and a good player later instead of jumping to a good player later and no players now. I think that's what I would stay with. I'm Lizard, Judkins, and Kyron for Achan with Woody, Hampton, Benson as the bench. I feel like we're paying the whole way to do it, but I could. And then if I thought I could move Benson and a different wide receiver for a better second running back, I would like that, Lizard. All right, Zaddy, Trey Tucker, or Judy. I like Judy better than Trey Tucker, just as a receiver. So if I have to start one this week, I might end up having Judy ahead. Honey Badger, I just sent Lad and Manungai for Ibuka, and it got declined and denied in a non-PPR. Off the top of your head, what other wide receivers could I target? Same range. I mean, I understand why the guy doesn't want to. If he thinks Ibuka is better than Lad, Monunga is not enough to move me. But you could offer it for Nico. You could offer it for London. You could offer it for Devontae Adams is getting up there. I mean, if they don't do it, I think we're okay. Because like Monunga is not a massive piece. So it's not like we're going to be shooting up that high completely out of the Lad tier. Once we're in, like, I don't know the Monunga. Yeah, I'll just rephrase that or say the same thing again. I don't know that adding Kyle Monungai does enough to get you out of the tier of players that Lad is in. So how different is Lad for Ibuka? The guy's probably viewing it that same way. Like, why would I trade Ibuka just to get Lad? And then what am I doing with Monungai? Silly feet. Sharp is on waivers in an 8-man. You have Ken Walker. What do I even do with Walker at this point? I mean, they're close to 8-man droppable. I might still grab Charbonnet and he could fill in some weeks as a flex for you, but that's about where he's at. Slayaway says I have Dart. Oh, trading away hurts. Yeah, see if Dart's playing this week. He might be out. Neeks with a heart, me, and some other, and roses. Let me find one from Neeks. Chase Brown and Rice. Chase Brown and Rice for Ibuka and Lamb. I think I'm taking Ibuka and Lamb there. I think I'm taking Ibuka and Lamb there, especially if you wanted wide receivers. That seems fine. It doesn't seem crazy on either side. I think we're fine. It's Johnny. How do you feel about Patriots running back depth? Do you accept timeshares between Stevenson, Henderson, and Jennings? I do. They just kept going to guys ahead of Henderson that all needed to get injured before he really was the guy. So I'm gonna believe when the coaches do that. If Henderson came back, if Ramondre Henderson's back, I expect he has some sort of role. Buckets for life, Bo Nix for Flacco. There's situations where I could. If I think Flacco is going to outscore Bo Nix for the next 3 weeks and then disappear, but then I have someone else by then, that can make sense. MS, would you still buy AJ Brown? I probably wouldn't. I mean, it'll, as always, depends on what you're having to give up. But for someone who stayed holding the candle for AJ Brown, I'm fading. Seth Spencer might be a first timer. I don't know if YouTube tells me these are first. It doesn't highlight them as first timers the way that Twitch does. And I don't know that we ever got anyone on Kick today. Silently turned Kick back on. And we didn't even get the spam bots from Kick. Okay, Seth Spencer trade Genty and Hampton. Ashton Genty, Omari, and Hampton for Pickens, Woody, and ETN. If you needed, would I do this? I guess if I have no running backs right now, I mean, if I only have Genty and I can't get Woody or someone else in a different way, would I move Henderson to do it? Do I need the wins right now? That's kind of the questions that I'm starting to answer on that one, Seth. Genty and Hampton for Pickens, Woody, and ETN. Ultimately, I don't really want to bring in Woody and ETN. I don't know that helps me a ton for the playoffs as much as I want it to. Carter on YouTube says, how's it going today? We're doing fantastic. What could I get trading 2 of these guys, AJ Brown, Ted McMillan, and Sutton? Send out combos. So Carter on YouTube, we have a video of that. We show that's the way we answer a question like that. Realistically, what could I get? This is how we determine it. So you've got 3 guys there. So I don't know how many combos of 2 that ends up being, but this is how I would build combos of 2-for-1 trades. It's right there. And I'm pretty sure we've crossed double digits getting asked that today. Eccentric Phase just got a trade offer in this keeper league I'm kind of considering so I can make a strong playoff push. You drafted Ibuka 8th round and he's offering Devontae and Saquon or Josh Allen in one of those. Okay, Devontae and Saquon or Josh Allen and Saquon. Okay, so any combination 2 of those 3. And those seem okay. You have Mahomes, ETN, Chase Brown. This is the whole I was wondering, okay, if I did get Josh Allen, could I possibly flip one of those quarterbacks? I mean, yeah, you could flip one. that depends on your league. So if you make that move and get a quarterback and then you then flip one of those quarterbacks, aren't you just trying to flip? He's offering Devontae and Saquon or Josh Allen in one of those. Why wouldn't you just take Devontae and Saquon if you have Mahomes? I probably wouldn't worry. I mean, I would just take the position players, Devontae and Saquon, if I was doing that trade. And yeah, you get Ibuka in the 8th round, and you could trade him for Devontae and Saquon and go for a playoff push this year. I think that's fine. And then keep someone else. I don't know that I would trade for Josh Allen to then hope to trade him for someone in that range. Like, I think I would just rather have Saquon and Mahomes and go that way. Okay, Gary Jr. If Purdy plays, start Purdy or Flacco? Probably Flacco. Just a better pocket passer. I mean, I had Purdy in kind of what I was just calling the pocket passer blob. Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams scrambles some, so he wouldn't be in there. Just kind of like, these guys are all fine. We thought Trevor Lawrence might be better with Liam Cohen. This was my preseason pocket passer blob. If they don't run, we're hoping they get a couple touchdowns. I have Flacco ahead of all of those guys. I'm Blizzard, Drake May or Herbert rest of season? Probably Drake May. But I'm Blizzard, I feel like people ask that question, meaning like, which one should I trade for or trade away? You trade away whichever one you can. You trade for whichever one you can get. I wouldn't rank them in that way. I would probably rank May higher, but if no one wants to trade for Herbert, then I would trade May. Troy Franklin or Alvin Kamara rest of season for the flex? Like, possibly Franklin. Possibly Franklin. I mean, I don't know that answering rest of season right now is that useful. We take in more information as it comes. We've seen a couple weeks of Franklin. Was it just because Sutton was covered in tough defensive matchups? I'm not sure. Jagger Lloyd on YouTube. What's your difference in value between Brees and Genty rest of season? Maybe a slight edge to Genty. Not a big player ad that I would need. I don't know, like Brees and Franklin for Genty. Roughly. I'm spitballing here. Don't hold me to the fire on that. The issue for me is I think things get worse for the Jets if there's no Garrett Wilson and that they just have a harder time moving the ball in general. Looks like I missed Looney. Did I miss Looney? Looney, not a first timer. I just don't always recognize the name. PPR Henderson and Tet for Judkins. Sure. I could. Harlan Wag, Troy Franklin, or we covered that one. Oh, Harlan Wag was a first-time chatter for second flex. Same idea. Like, we just take it week by week. Robert Gilbride, what do you think of Rico rest of season? He's probably top 15 running back. You have Judkins to think about packaging with a smaller piece to get Rico. You could. I don't know enough about the future or feel confident that we know enough to say like Rico's just for sure ahead of Judkins rest of the way. And when I'm doing an up tier, I usually like to feel like a little more confident. Frosty, I'm going to start 7 full PPR redraft quarterback. This is Frosty. I'm just looking. Okay. So Frosty, this is just a team and saying, what do I do? We are at 2:00. So we will let Frosty know, and then we will get all the way down to Honey Badger and wrap stuff up. Frosty, we do those in our Discord team reviews. You can post your team in the roster help and screenshots channel. If the question is just, this is my team, what do I do? That's where we do it. We don't do a ton of those on the live stream. If you want to join the Discord coming from Twitch or YouTube, you can type !Discord as a chat command, and it'll put the link right in the chat for you. If you're on Twitch on your desktop, you can just scroll down. There's a button that will be down there. And then if you are on TikTok, you just have to gaze through the chat, past the chat text. Here's my mouse on the browser. You can see it. And then as you go down, we go below the browser and it says Fantasy Team Reviews in Discord. And then right below that, tinyurl.com/boom Discord. That's the link you can put in the browser and it'll send you an invite. And then we will churn through the chats here because we end at 2 and it is 2. So we usually get to 2, we pick a person, and then we say we're not going past them. We all just curious about Rico from Brock. A lot of people are curious about Rico Dowdle each week. I don't want to just keep posting Rico Dowdle videos. If people wanted to watch it, I guess that's what I would have to do. Jason the Raccoon trade Justin Jefferson and Brees for London and Judkins. I would just stay with Justin Jefferson and try to find a different way to move Brees. Rob Gilbride. I mean, that's probably one of the closer Justin Jefferson trades that I've seen, but it's just because you get to move out off of Brees. Rob Gilbride, what do you think of Rico rest of season? I think he's going to be good. I think I said top 15. Brock Cragen, would I trade Rico for Henry? I'd probably just stay with Henry. Alex says, I don't know if you do Dynasty. I do. I just don't do a ton of it on the live streams. Neek says, can I get a Discord invite? Yes, you just go to a browser and you type in tinyurl.com/boom discord. Every once in a while, someone has said that didn't work, but then that's the same link everywhere. And I just keep getting people joining. So I typically lock that up to user. I mean, everyone here got in using that link. So I typically assume that and it just worked for you. There you are. Neeks just slid in. You already have the server tag on 202. Maybe it was in the onboarding. So Alex, yes, we do Dynasty. I do some of them on the live stream, some of the Dynasty questions. Team reviews for Dynasty will launch in January, but because of the nature of how different those get with a 12-team start 10 is very different than a 10-team start 7. Player values, we have tools that we will relaunch for submitting your team for review that detect all of those settings and then give me really good tools for doing team reviews, but those would be a paid option. And those will launch in probably January. Let's see, Adam, would you trade Lamb or Rice for Pittman and Higgins? No. Brock Cragen, all 4 of those players, solid. I think that was someone else. Oh, Alex, the question was, you don't need to make any moves. You were offered an early 26 first, Brees Hall and BTJ for CD. Is it worth it? I'm not sure that it is. It could be with BTJ. I don't know your league settings. So yeah, we might get there. And then we are at Honey Badger for the end with Garrett Wilson out a couple weeks. What do you think? Adonai Mitchell could maybe break through a little bit. He would be a deep league stash. If he showed up this week, he'll end up in the waivers. If you have a spot, like it can't hurt to use him, but I would not be starting him. And I don't know that he's going to be there. Declan Fitzgerald says Hunter out for the year. I believe it. That'll be the last thing. Travis, Hunter. That's kind of what I thought when they traded for Jacoby Myers. Not expected to be out long-term from 7 days ago, but he is saying, Declan Fitzgerald is saying, check Twitter, check Ian Rappaport. We end at 2, so I'm not going to give a bunch of extra on top of this. So I'll just look at it because I haven't seen it. Ranks will drop tomorrow. Sources say he underwent season-ending knee surgery. Yikes. Yeah. So that's a good target in Dynasty. Missing. We are wrapped up here. I'll do the ranks today, and I might jump on and do like gaming either tonight or tomorrow night. Ranks take a lot of time. If I don't do it tonight, I'll probably jump on for some sort of game tomorrow night. Nate, is Hunter out for the year? Yes. Yes. So I might just pop up if you see me after hours at, anything really that's other than 11 to 2. Assume that it's gaming and see if you wanted to see that, pop in. I haven't tried Arc Raiders. Should I try that game? We are just at the end, gang. We aren't covering any more questions. Kind of just vamping for a little bit as I think of what to eat and talking a little bit. Is Arc Raiders good? Should I do that? Shane saying, get a victory royale. Would it be hell to watch a child play Fortnite? We play and I can beat up on the bots with her, but I assume that might be hell to watch. Or is it fun? I don't know. I don't know why anyone watches this, and yet here we are. Shane says, not when it's your child. I mean, I have fun. I'm just trying to think of what is watchable. What is watchable? There's people here who are watching and they don't get their questions answered. If I was playing a game and we answered some questions, just hanging out, we'll give it a run. I would really only buy Arc Raiders if I thought it was watchable on stream. I'm not hearing anyone say that it is, which makes me think no. Just that you've heard it's a good game. I've heard it's a good game too. All right, I'm gonna go eat something. Maybe some hot dogs. Maybe some hot dogs. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all the questions. We had. Thank you for anyone on the TikTok gifting. I think we hit 3 subs on. I think we hit 3 on Twitch today. Well, Unspoken Legends dropped 3 on his own. So thank you guys for that as well. Thank you for hanging out. We'll wrap it up. I'll hit the end. I'll end the streams. Here's how you end a TikTok. I hit that, and then you have to click a ton of stuff. But that's now gone. We still are live on Twitch and YouTube. And I'll click this one. It's just one click.